tiny.
This looks like a nice piece of shit.
Called the shit poop.
It's too damn hot.
Too damn hot for a penguin to just be walking around.
Hey, Billy, what day is it? October? It's Nudie Magazine Day.
Oh, it's a good day. All right. We ready?
Yep.
Oh, for Ramakavan.
Or Sonya Blade.
I don't. Oh.
Good evening, everyone. The highlights of the news: traffic accident. A Beaver County man is being held for murder. Is more later.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started.
Start now.
Start now. So the music's still going.
Now.
Hold on.
You don't wait for it to completely fade out.
No, but it's got to be quiet enough that they can hear us.
You got a
Now we're
loud
talking
fucking
too long.
mouth.
I should have started like a while ago. What's going on, guys? This is Made to Motivate podcast, season 4, episode 16. This is your host.
Are you sure that's right? Because you said you fucked up last week. So.
Check today. This is 16. Maybe not, because we had 214. So I don't know.
I wasn't going to let you losers fuck me again.
We're rolling with 16. This is your host, Ryan Weiss. I am joined, as always, by Jesse Unk from Sports Illustrated.
Oh, I lost
What's
my
going
second
on?
rank.
How's it going?
It's going fantastic.
It's going good?
Yeah.
Good. Got a couple beers, brewskis.
Got a little brewski action going on over here.
Christopher, the film freak, Kessinger. How's it going?
Pretty good. That beer was way too cold.
Yeah, you put that down, man. I don't know how you do that. I can't chug a beer like that.
It gets harder and harder for him every week.
It's
Like the
good.
first time he did it was like bam, and now he's like,
It's too cold. That's the problem. Like I'm
Yeah.
swallowing ice each time.
Spitters are for quitters, Chris.
It's going well. Besides, my boy retired today. That's why I'm
Who's that?
wearing Sean Lee.
Sean Lee?
Yeah, safety for the Dallas Cowboys.
When's the last time he played though?
Yeah, like Leighton Vander Esch has taken over a lot of the
Linebacker. You said so.
Oh, linebacker. Sorry. Duh. Yeah, he took over a lot of the play calling for Leighton Vander Esch, kind of was like molding him into the next big thing.
Yeah.
More
of like a bench coach type of situation.
Yeah, and Sean Lee, a great player, but very fragile.
Yeah.
So he's done.
Yeah, he retired. Yep.
Anything new and exciting with you guys since last week? Do you think about anything on your drive over, Jesse?
I did.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm
What do you
having a
got?
girl.
Hey,
I'm having a baby girl.
are you excited?
I'm super excited.
What's her name?
Calliope Jane.
Calliope. What's her nickname gonna be?
Callie.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
you
like
said
it.
that name because I was like trying to pronounce it when I saw it.
Me
Call
too.
up.
I know, I was like,
call up.
Butcher this thing back.
I typed it up for the album thing, and I was like, "How the fuck do you say that?" Calliope.
Calliope.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's gonna
Just
be
say
rough.
Callie. It's just easy.
Yeah.
Calliope.
Hey, Cal.
It's a Greek name. It
like it.
means beautifully voiced.
Very nice. Maybe she'll be a singer.
She's going to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's gonna be a cheerleader.
No, Browns don't have cheerleaders.
Oh. She could be the first, I guess.
She's gonna be in there. She's gonna be, and ain't gonna be no
I mean,
kicking bullshit.
18 years from now, I mean, women will probably be in the NFL. So
Yeah. I'm thinking slot receiver, go across the middle. Somebody tries to tackle her, she just fucks them up. It's gonna be dope.
they're already taking our damn referee spots.
That's right.
it's gonna be like Little Giants.
Yes.
Yes. She's gonna put the Alka-Seltzer in her mouth and
Ice
shit.
box.
Yes, dude, it's a good movie. So having a girl.
Having a
Anything
girl,
else exciting from the weekend?
10 days of school left.
That's it.
That's it. Well, 10 like actual school days, not days.
That still doesn't
Yeah.
seem right.
Yeah, that seems like you guys end real early.
So I'm not really counting testing days because those aren't really like days. This is in class, actual me having to teach and do my job days.
Yeah.
So like today I just put my feet up and tested kids, and it's boring as shit, and it makes the rest of the year drag away.
Oh,
But
yeah.
10 days, man.
Dang. Do you guys does your school do dances and stuff?
No.
You don't have any of that like extracurricular stuff or anything?
No.
Yeah.
We'd be hotboxing the gym.
Because I was gonna say, is it because of funding or just because of the
We would
type
do
of
like we would
students?
do stuff like that, but the district doesn't let them. So if you get sent to my school, you don't get to take part in any extracurriculars, any sports,
I got
any dances, which I think is stupid because my kids are the ones that need more exposure to that type of shit.
Yep.
But you know,
Don't
is what
punish
it
them.
is.
Like give them the opportunity to come around. And,
Right.
Yeah. Facilitate. So
But
I was always curious about that. That's cool. Christopher, anything new, exciting with you?
another Warzone win. Sorry,
You got another Warzone
got
win?
another Warzone win also.
Finally downloaded the update today, so I hope to hop on there and play.
Was that like 13 hours?
It didn't. I don't know. It didn't take that long. It was. What did they say? It was like
28 gigabytes.
28 gigabytes was the update, and then there was another one I had. There was another 5 gigabyte one
Dude,
too.
that's nothing. Usually they're like 130 gigs.
It's so stupid to me, man.
It's huge. It's a big game. Yeah, I don't know how long it took though. I just
It's an
turned it on and
entire
let it-
city.
yeah,
If you get in a helicopter and fly from edge to edge, it takes 3 minutes.
yeah.
To walk I don't think you could walk straight from the dam all the way to the prison in a single match.
It's just because all the details and everything. right?
Yeah.
It's massive
Yeah.
though.
It's just the size of the game, the size of the file, and that just to think
And then the capability to have 200
Right.
people in there playing simultaneously and it not crashing.
the graphics
so-
and stuff now, like it looks like a movie. So
It's so good.
it's cool.
You'll
So
sacrifice a couple banks just so you can get to play it on fucking time.
Absolutely. So what is new and exciting with you?
Friday went out golfing with these guys.
Yeah.
That was a very good game and one of the all-time fun games in league history.
You know what made me even more salty? Really, he only beat me by 1 because I gave him the hole in one on the 1 because he was blocking
You
me.
didn't give. I mean, that's part of the game.
No,
You
it
didn't give me
is, but I'm saying
anything.
like you really only beat me by 1 stroke yourself.
Oh yeah, you're talking the cannon hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was all strategy.
I was thinking back to 18 too, when we were like, we just kind of,
Yeah.
we cupped the hole ourselves. And I'm like, I don't think anybody would have missed that, but I was like,
I honestly think I might have helped Jesse out on that one.
Mhm. Get
the
His was,
fuck outta
his was a
here.
little bit right, and
Mhm.
because my hand was in there, it went.
Honestly,
It's okay.
do you want to know the God honest truth? I do think that yours might have rimmed around it.
mine.
It hit my hand kind of weird,
Yeah.
but I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not going to call that shit. He's not in the competition between the two of
Why?
us.
Yeah, I'm like, so I got an 83 instead of an 82.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Fucking guy.
But yeah, we did that. That was really fun. And what
It
else?
was really fun.
Saturday, got to see a pretty cool movie out in Kent that I didn't hear of until like that week.
What was that?
It's called Together, starring Ed Helms.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
kind of a
I actually wanna
romantic
see that.
comedy. It's really cool, man. It's an awesome movie. Yeah, I recommend it for couples specifically.
For couples specifically.
I think you'll get enough from it if you go alone, but like I think it's a movie that him and her can enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it though. What about you?
Not her and her, or him and him.
Him, her.
Him, her, she, he, whatever you want to do.
The thoughts and comments of Chris Kessinger do not reflect.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my God. This fucking guy.
I wish I got it longer to like right when I pressed record on that, I was like, no, fucking keep doing
I know,
it.
I was hoping it was longer. That's what she said.
Me too.
You're such a twat.
Yeah. So I went mini golfing.
Why don't you
kicked Jesse's
challenge me?
ass,
that
and
way, because I
I'll-
can't challenge you. Challenge
Am
me.
I allowed to do that?
Not the same game, no.
Hey, I can't challenge.
What?
you.
He can't challenge me
can't
back?
Can't be the
We
same
can't play
game again. No.
Pussy.
I still want to know why Brad won't take any challenges.
Yeah, I think the Tom thing, especially because for him now, especially that you've lapped him, like you've
Mhm.
gone higher than him, I would take that challenge in a second, beat Tom, and then jump you.
It's just interesting that he talks so much shit, and he is good. Take a challenge.
Mhm.
Take a fucking challenge.
Here's the soundbite that gets put on the Facebook for everybody.
That's right. Yeah, golf Friday with these gents, kicked Jesse's ass. Did photos for him the next day as a sorry that I kicked your ass in mini golf the night before
How did that go?
for his gender reveal. It was good.
Mhm.
And then
Good food.
I didn't eat. They didn't feed me.
You don't never fucking
he
eat.
bailed
Didn't
out
get
early.
paid. Didn't get food.
I offered you $100. You fuck.
drink. I didn't get nothing.
I offered him $100. He's like, no, it's a gift to you. And
They're
now he
like-
wants to slander me.
We don't need anything else. You can go now. I was like, okay, bye.
Your changes on the dress. I'm done with you.
Get the editing done, bitch.
That's right. That's basically what it was. Go home and edit these so we can have them.
He didn't even edit every photo. He only did 66 of them.
Jesus.
Jeez.
How many photos did you take?
288.
288, and he only edited 66.
Hell no. You think a wedding photographer edits every freaking photo?
Do not use map this moment.
Wow.
It was a pretty
No.
good turnout though, from what I saw.
Slander.
That's what you get for
The thoughts and
lying.
comments of Jesse Unk
They
not
do
reflect
reflect
the
it.
Made Motivate
They
podcast
reflect
in
it.
any
They're
way.
not.
The photography expert, Jesse Unk, says
Damn.
not to use map this moment.
What's the timestamp on that?
I don't
I
know.
need to
I don't
cut
think
that out. 1425.
No, he did do a good job. They look really good.
I agree.
But anyways, so yeah, golfed and then photos and then Sunday. I don't know. I didn't do anything exciting. This weekend was kind of like super low key.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot. It was nice to just relax. It went really fast though, which sucked.
Did you watch Mortal Kombat this weekend, or did you had already watched
Did
it?
watch Mortal Kombat.
So
We're gonna
that's
talk about that.
Saturday.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't realize when I was messaging the group you hadn't seen it yet. I thought you guys talked about it on the
I didn't
last
care.
show.
I didn't really
Yeah.
pay attention because I'm not like a diehard fan, so I forgot most of their names. I only
Yeah.
remembered like 3 people from it.
It's good. Hollywood Report? Might as well. Oh, question before we get to Hollywood Report and talk about Mortal Kombat. So Jesse had his gender reveal this weekend. He's having a girl.
Man, if only some genius called that.
Yeah, this guy's the one that fucking ruined it for everybody.
The
If
genius calling the 50-50 chance.
Hey, I fucking got it right though. Every fucking time.
Would you guys want to have a twin brother, identical twin brother or sister?
No.
Hell
Why?
yeah.
No, because to me, like, it lessens. This sounds stupid. It lessens the importance of my life. Like it makes me feel like my identity that is unique to me
It's no longer
is no longer me. I know, that's different. Like we have different social security numbers,
Yeah.
all that. We're technically a different person,
Yeah.
but we look the same.
It'd be so weird to me.
Yeah.
Jesse,
I'd be
would you be
totally
okay
down.
with having
Hell
like
yeah.
identical
Yes.
twin brother?
Yes.
That'd be so weird.
It'd be dope.
Only thing I think would
I'd be like, what should we wear tomorrow? I don't know what to wear. He wears one outfit, I wear another. It saves time. I don't got to change a bunch of times, see what I'm wearing.
the only thing I think would be cool about it is what you see in the movies where like they hook up with like their brother's girlfriend or
This
something.
ain't fucking multiplicity.
I know that's the only thing I would think would be cool about it, like just to fuck with people, But otherwise, I'd think it would be super creepy to like look at someone else that looked identical to me.
Jesse be like, Pablo, did you hook up with my wife?
Right?
Yeah.
Dude.
His name would be Pablo too. Jesse and Pablo.
That's the only reason I'm disappointed Jesse's having a girl is because I was really wanting a Pablo. But
You jinxed it.
I did. All right. So Hollywood Report then, since we're on about Mortal Kombat anyway.
I'll jerk the curtain.
Jerk it. All right.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! Two, Steve, assemble!
Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Christopher, we were talking Mortal Kombat there briefly. Jesse was jumping the gun.
Mhm.
Now we can officially talk about Mortal Kombat.
Sure, let's go.
What's going on in Hollywood, sir?
Well, let's talk about Mortal Kombat. This past weekend, it debuted on Friday, and amazingly enough, it is doing stellar in theater box offices right now. Even beat another movie called Dragon Slayer that was out this weekend. It was an anime that a lot of people went to.
Huh.
But yeah, Mortal Kombat's doing solid. I think the number now is, I think it was at $12.4 million for the week.
Do we know, is this the best dual release movie yet? That was like an HBO and theater at the same time?
No, Godzilla and Kong.
That beat it?
Yeah.
Even though they had a lot in box office, even though it was on HBO.
Yeah. Godzilla and Kong was like, that was the movie that people said, okay, the theaters are still alive. We still have
Cool.
a breath in our lungs.
Good deal.
So we all have different opinions on this movie, from what I gauge. I want to actually get Jesse's opinion first. So Jesse, Mortal Kombat, you wouldn't consider yourself a hardcore fan, right?
No, I don't. I've never owned a Mortal Kombat game. I've only played it like sporadically throughout my life.
So going into this movie after the trailer, what were your expectations?
I thought it looked badass,
Mhm.
but I didn't expect it to be good.
Okay.
Like I thought the action would be cool and that there'd be a lot of blood and gore, but I thought the movie would be shit.
Okay. And on the level of those expectations, which sound high, did it fully live up for you?
Yeah, it was way better than I expected.
Mhm.
Like I actually enjoyed the movie. I didn't think that it was terrible. I don't know all the lore because a lot of people I saw were like, they fucking didn't make such and such strong enough, and this person was weak, and this person was lame, and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
They didn't get into the lore. The tattoos were stupid. I don't know any of that stuff. So
Tattoos were stupid.
yeah, so I was like, was like, I didn't think it was that bad. And like everybody's talking about how Cole, the main character, was like stupid as fuck. And, like, granted, he's definitely not the strongest character in the movie, but he served a purpose. Like, I get why they did that, to like explain the lore and make it so that, you know, all of these characters could still be who they are without having to be like finding themselves. Like Liu Kang, that would have been the guy that would have been the main character. So you're going to make him super weak and then find his way and do all that other shit like an origin story, or you just put some new guy in and let him figure it out with them for a little bit of exposition so that everybody knows what's going on, and then we can go into the next movie with everything fleshed out and everybody's going to be able to kick ass.
Ryan, some thoughts on this movie?
Well, one question for Jesse before I go is,
where
are you going?
Based on Cole, before I go and discuss my ideas, but talking about Cole, so that was like the main character. We all agree that that was like the main.
Oh, he's the protagonist. There's no doubt.
So take it out of context of Mortal Kombat. If this was a different movie and that was your main character, do you think that his role fulfilled the role of a main character? Because you're saying you don't follow Mortal Kombat, so it wasn't as big of a deal to you. But if you put it in a different storyline and that's your main character, do you really think that he fit that mold?
No, he's one of the weaker characters. I think that if I had to choose somebody to be the main character out of this, it would have been Kano.
Yeah.
I think he was the best character in this entire movie.
I agree. As far as performance goes, Josh Lawson easily stole the show.
Yeah. And then I think that second to that was probably Jax and Sonya Blade. I liked both of them.
So I was happily surprised. I was not thrilled by the trailer at all. I thought it seemed cheesy. I didn't think that the story was going to go where I was going to enjoy the movie. I didn't have super high expectations going in. It did have the cheesy things I thought were going to be in there.
Like what?
Just the some of like the CGI stuff was just tacky. Certain parts of the film just came off as really low budget to me. I don't know if it was just in like the staging or like the green screens that they used. Like part of the where they were like training for their battles or whatever, you know, when they were in their like headquarters or whatever, it just seemed really corny and like bad. And I know like Mortal Kombat is kind of like that, but I don't know. Like there's something about it. I just watched this movie and I'm like, this doesn't look like a blockbuster movie. Like it doesn't look like it was made with the equipment of a blockbuster movie or the budget of a blockbuster movie. Like it looked lower budget, you know? But it didn't take away from the movie enough that I didn't like it. To Jesse's point, or a lot of people's points, obviously Cole, I don't think it lived up to what it could have been. Like he was the main character, but his storyline was really weak. It was like almost like they needed it to be able to tie the story together, and that's the only purpose he served. Like it didn't go in depth.
He's a plot device.
Exactly. That's all they used it for. I loved Sub-Zero. I thought that his character was cool. I like the way that they designed him, his character design and stuff.
They gave him a lot more attention in this one as opposed to what he had in the original film.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty dope. I hated Reptile.
I didn't think Reptile was cool either.
Awful.
Reptile was a jobber in this movie.
It looked awful. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just not even following the games at all. Like he's a humanoid dude. Like what the fuck are you doing?
It was like
he was just an iguana.
Yeah, it was really, and it was poorly designed. It just looked awful.
And here's the thing: the original does that concept, like he's a reptile at first, but then he turns into a human. Like so, at least do that.
Yeah. But even in that, which was what 15 years ago, 20 years
96,
ago?
25.
I mean, that reptile looked better.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like it looked awful.
I actually thought the Goro looked better in that one too.
Goro,
and a lot of people have been saying the Goro looks better in this one.
Goro was cool. I actually liked Goro. I thought they did a good job with him, at least looking similar to the original.
That was one thing I had a problem
with his design.
No, I think the design was fine. I liked how they like, as far as like how his fighting and everything went was cool.
Yeah,
but like, of the little bit of what I have played of Mortal Kombat, Goro is like the boss. He's like the fucking badass. Yeah. And he
right
was
before
just,
Shang.
And he was just like a little henchman that went out and got his ass kicked by some nobody. And I was like, well, that's kind of fucking stupid.
That's how they played him off in the first one though, too.
Now,
like in the first Mortal Kombat movie, he was kind of like
he did destroy a lot of people, even though they were jobbers, but
yeah, he did. But I mean, he kind of played that like bodyguard role. Like, that's kind of like how they did him in this, but they played him off.
And the one thing that I noticed though, and this is spoilers for the end, but like the one guy does say, death is just a passageway, and then you see Sub-Zero and Goro both disappear. So I'm assuming they're both going to come back more powerful.
Dude, in the continuity of the games, so everybody dies in the first one minus Liu Kang. So basically, yeah, they all get regenerated for the second Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang's the tournament champion in the first 2 Mortal Kombats.
Yeah.
So obviously, every time you see Sonya Blade, she's died and she's come back.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for that. It's just the way it is.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, my issue with that is like, why be worried anybody dies? They're just gonna come back. Like, they just have the ability to come back and relive it or whatever. I don't know.
And in that regard, this felt like a superhero movie to me.
Yeah.
Like, this felt, I've gotten comparisons. People have told me it felt like Power Rangers.
I did get Power Ranger vibes.
Yeah. Other people told me that it felt like a Marvel movie. And I was like, oh, I see everything that you guys are comparing on this.
Especially the Outworld.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like reeking of Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that was a bad
I would
design.
say Power
I don't know what
Rangers for
Outworld
sure.
looks like in the games,
Mhm.
but I guarantee it doesn't look like that.
Yeah. I could see a Power Rangers comparison in the fact that like Power Rangers is also like a super low budget and kind of cheesy movie or storyline.
Yeah.
I think MCU or Marvel's pushing it a little far. Maybe DC, but
There were 2 moments in the movie where I noticed the low budget, because I'll give the CGI and stuff a pass, but like there was one point when Liu Kang first shows up and he's like guiding them with a fire hand.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's a fake arm. I think that they were like, we could just, it's a dark passageway. Let's just put the fucking mannequin arm in and set the hand on fire. I swear to God. And then at the end, after Sub-Zero gets defeated and everything starts like melting, it's all cellophane wrap.
Yeah.
It's all fucking wrap that they just used a fucking hairdryer to make look like ice. That was bad.
Yeah.
The good thing is that it's making money now. So that next movie is going to get a big ass budget.
Yeah.
Well, this one got $95 million. $95 million.
That was the budget?
Yeah, went into this movie.
What does a normal movie look like? What's a normal?
I can't remember what the original Mortal Kombat was, but it definitely wasn't $95 million.
I mean, I don't know if that's a lot or not, but to me, it looks kind of low budget.
I bet you could double that for the next movie though.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. I mean, they got enough people interested in it that I would hope that they're going to up it. I mean, they've got 3 more. Sub-Zero signed on for 3 or 4 more, I think.
Well, there's 4 total movies, so there's 3 more coming.
3 more.
For your low expectations, so they were obviously met, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I got what I thought I was gonna get, but I was a little bit more happy with it than I expected to be. I'd say I'd probably give it a 7. Like, it was fun to watch. The fight scenes were cool. I was disappointed, which I think you might have said, there was no tournament. Like, I was disappointed that there wasn't that tournament structure like in the original one. I did enjoy that aspect where it was like people watching them fight to the death, whereas they just kind of like battled each other. So maybe that's coming in the next one when we get Johnny Cage, but I don't know.
So for my opinions, and I'll be real quick on this. Basically, for everything that I saw that was positive, I also had a negative that simultaneously, redacted my statement. So every time I was impressed, I was unimpressed with something. I was impressed with the action. I thought the choreography of the stunt work, everybody involved was solid. I thought there were a couple of performances that really surprised me, mainly Kano that Jesse hit on. My 2 favorite characters in the movie were honestly Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And to me, this is a point I'm going to get to here in a second. The whole movie to me feels rushed. And that's ultimately the biggest problem with this film. Everything feels like it is constantly go, 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 go. There's never a moment to slow down and soak in the exposition of everything taking place. So much so that when Ryan talked about the tournament we're led to believe is this big thing throughout the whole movie. And then by the end of the movie, it's dropped as nothing. It's inconsequential to this film, which to me, I'm fine with. But here's the thing. If you're going to make the tournament for another movie, here's my idea. Make a universe. Make this first movie just Scorpion and Sub-Zero's movie. Then you can focus on those 2 characters solely. You don't have a barrage of characters moving in and out of frame at any given time. And you're like, oh, wait, I'm not an expert. I know a few characters, but I'm like, oh, who's that guy? What's he do? Oh, cool. Oh, he's dead now. Oh, who's that guy? What's he do? Oh, he's dead now. Oh, who's she? She's got, oh, she's dead too. So yeah, to me, that was kind of the thing. It's like you had too many characters and you didn't have enough time with a 93-minute script to focus on all of them. It's understandable that not everybody is going to get exposition, but considering there was never a point in this movie where I felt like our protagonists were ever in trouble. I never felt like there were any stakes to anything that was going on. That's a big problem with Mortal Kombat when it comes to when you're trying to emulate these games and the fate of mankind being at stake here. Like I said, I love the action. Some of the performances are solid. I thought the costumes were really beautiful.
Some of them were really good.
Like,
I thought
they emulated them perfectly in terms of the game.
Jumped right out of the game.
Yeah. The stories, as far as backstories of characters, doesn't bother me. I don't care if you tweak that for films like this. I know people have a critique about the lore and all that. The first Mortal Kombat,
I thought the opening 7 minutes were fantastic. I don't know if that's accurate to the game, but it was great.
the opening 7 minutes are the best in this whole movie. From there, it only went down for me.
I agree with that.
And that's why I said I could honestly have used more of that. So once that happens, it's almost like it's pushed to the back story, you know, for the rest of the film. And then we get it in the final 2 minutes. So my honest opinion is, if you're going to do that, if you're going to make the tournament this big payoff at the end of this whole thing, make it in the 4th movie. Have a series of origin films, maybe 2 or 3 characters each movie. I also think that's why this series would probably work better as a show than it would a movie. Just my honest opinion. But for my money, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I had the entertainment value there. I was never bored with this movie. You know, I don't understand how anybody could be bored by this film. It's constantly go, 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 go. And that's to its credit and to its disadvantage as far as the pacing of the movie goes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's an advantage because, you know, you never have a moment to breathe. It's always exhilarating. You know, it's constantly, your experience is on edge. But at the same time, I also like those in between moments of levity where you get to kind of soak in what happened. So if a character just died, you go, wow, how does this affect the group? I want to see like how they're fighting back against this adversity.
Yeah.
We never really get that.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, like with that, was it what's the hat guy? Not
Kung
Raiden.
Lao.
Kung Lao, yeah.
Like with Kung Lao dying though,
Mhm.
to the point of like Scorpion be able to come back. Like, what, can he just come back?
Yeah.
You know, like what's the issue?
No, because
there?
his soul was eaten.
Oh, that is true. He did have his soul sucks.
And-
That might make a difference.
And that's
actually.
to your credit when you said Cole is a plot device, pretty much. I'm like, yeah, that's the only reason Cole is really in this movie.
Yeah.
It's because they needed him to bring back Scorpion, as you called it on the message board. I can't remember what you called him, like the devil Scorpion or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he came back from hell.
He's
I
from
knew
hell.
that.
Yeah. So yeah. As far as the protagonist goes, yeah, I had the same problems with Cole too.
Yeah.
To me, I don't even care so much that you made him the protagonist. I'm cool with bringing in, you know, an original character and all that. We saw it in, this is a bad example, Resident Evil's movies. I mean, it didn't work to the best of its advantage, but still, I'm fine with it. I get the point. Ryan kind of explained it's to bridge all these characters together, to tie them all together and see it from a human's perspective. So basically, we're Cole.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. My problem is the exposition that they gave him was so tired and so cliche that it was so vanilla that I couldn't get invested into the character.
I think he's the worst actor out of all of them.
He's definitely the worst actor out of all of them. And as far as the backstory of his character goes, like, he's this rundown fighter, but yet we're supposed to believe that he's going to kick the ass of all these immortals and everything. I'm like,
so I have a question for you on that, actually, because I want to go back and watch the movie again, but I missed his story, because in the beginning scene, the child left behind by Scorpion was a daughter, correct?
Yeah.
So then how does he become, what's his?
He's just a bloodline.
He's a descendant. Yeah.
Okay.
I forget how they said it. That was his, I think Scorpion was his grandfather or his great grandfather.
Like great.
It just seemed like the daughter being in there, it just seemed like a missed, like it didn't seem necessary.
Mhm.
Like they show this kid getting taken away, and then I'm thinking that was going to be Cole,
Mhm.
and then he was going to become Scorpion, which I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad that Scorpion like came back, because I would have been disappointed if like he just ended up being like a reincarnation of Scorpion.
Yeah.
But I really missed the connection between him and the daughter that got saved. Like they didn't go anywhere with that, and I think that it just kind of seems stupid. Like it was kind of a pointless.
It's an afterthought.
detail.
It's like, who is she? Princess Katana? Is she, you know, like what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And speaking of saving her, I did not like Raiden, and Raiden was always one of my
I
favorite
love Raiden,
people
but not
in
in
the
this
movie.
movie.
Talk about pointless characters.
Yeah.
Good
Awful.
God. Yeah. So
The eyes looked bad, which
Mhm.
I was able to give a pass, but like he's just not.
He wasn't good in this.
I don't know what Raiden's like outside of the games. I always liked lightning power, but like, God damn, he was boring.
He's way more dope in the first.
Christopher
one.
Lambert, dude, he played him awesome, and he didn't even have to get his hands dirty. And it's cool. You can have Raiden be that guy who's kind of like the mentor, you know, teaching the kids how to fight and all that.
Yeah.
But this guy had nothing to do. He shows up literally 10 seconds after Scorpion dies and after he gets his family killed and all that. And he just shows up and takes this kid. I'm like, well, thanks, fucker. Where were you 10 seconds ago?
It's not like you can teleport here.
Yeah.
I really wish that they would have taken more time. I think that they tried to do too much in the one movie. I would have liked the idea of origin story with some of the characters and then built up to like a more in-depth film. But there's so many missing pieces that I think that they just expected you to know about them if you were like a fan. But if you weren't and you're coming to it new, it really dropped the ball. Like you'd be lost or not understand a lot of it.
I do think that when you look at it though, and again, haven't played the games, don't know how in depth that story goes, but like I'm assuming there's not a super in-depth story that goes into these games, because for me, if I'm writing a movie for it, I don't want to create a huge background story and piss off all the loyalists. Like I've always said I wanted a Tekken movie, but Tekken has a long running history of a great story. Even in the small little clips, there's a ton of stories in that game.
Would you want a majority of that in that movie when you got it?
If there was a Tekken movie, I would want it, like you said, where it was broken up into different segments, or at least it could be a movie, but it would have to be like a 2.5 hour movie where you're focused on 2 or 3 different parts.
Sure.
Like you could do, the Jin family, which would be the main story. And then you could do Paul and Brian. And then you could do like King and Armor King's death and all that. And then in the next movie, you continue with Jin, but you add a couple more and then you finally culminate into the actual Tekken tournament.
And why not? Because the benefit of all this is you're going to fully flesh out your characters. And by the time you get to that tournament, I'm talking Mortal Kombat here.
Yeah.
By the time you get to that tournament, everybody you have an investment in at this point.
Right.
So anytime any one of these guys die now, it hurts you because of your investment to them.
I agree with that.
So I feel like the payoff would be much more. The last thing I'm going to say, there's 2 points I want to make. So in my review that I posted on Tuesday, I had said one of the big problems that I had with the movie was the presentation. After going back and watching it, I'm actually not that bothered by it after a second time. I thought initially that the movie looked too dark for me, like almost to where I had to squint every time that I was watching these fight sequences. But the second time it almost kind of cleared up miraculously. Like, I don't know if it's just because I knew what was happening, if I knew what to detect at any time. But I wasn't as bothered by it the second time. What I was bothered by continuously, and is my biggest problem with the special effects, is the abundance of CG blood. Now, it's a Mortal Kombat movie. I am 100% on board with blood. But the problem is I've never believed in computer-generated blood to begin with. I think it looks hokey. There's nobody who's done it right.
It doesn't live up
moment.
either. In 10 years, it'll look like shit.
It looks terrible. So like a good scene to show that off on is the opening scene. Obviously, Scorpion and Sub-Zero with everything going on. There's a point where Scorpion does his rope thing through one of the guards of Sub-Zero who comes in after him. And you see it goes through him, but the blood comes out in a way that's completely opposite. It makes no sense whatsoever. And it looks incredibly fake.
Yeah. That was the things that were like my big concern when I watched the trailer, is that just the cheesiness of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like the fight editing either in some parts, because if you watched the very first fight with Cole when he's in like the UFC before all the Mortal Kombat stuff happens, it is cut every 2 fucking seconds. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And usually like, when people are like, you can't even tell what's going on, I'm always like, you're being fucking dramatic. This was the first time where I've ever watched something where I was like,
yeah,
is this that Cole dude? Like, I don't even know what the fuck is happening. But then there were other times where there were really long shots and it was well choreographed. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not do this for every single fight? Like,
it was strange. It was like they had 2 cinematographers.
It was.
Is what it felt like. Like you're right. There were those beautiful shots where they would revolve around the fight and then even go invasive, in and out from time to time. Not too close, but just enough.
Yeah.
And then there's those times where it's cut. I'm going to hit you.
All
cut to
over
you.
the
Cut
place.
back to me. Cut to you. It's I don't need that shit. And a movie to compare to this franchise again, the last Resident Evil movie was the worst edited film that I have ever seen in my life. Watch those action sequences. This is a blueprint what not to do when you're an editor. Let's go with final grades. Unless you guys have some more thoughts you want to add to it.
No, I think you're good.
Ryan, what was your grade on this?
I think I feel comfortable giving it a 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's a 7.
Would you say the best one of the 3 Mortal Kombat movies?
That's tough. I really like the original. It just has that nostalgic feeling for it, and it was just the characters in that one I liked more. I'd say probably the first one's the original is my favorite. This is a close second, I'd say.
I just watched it again the other day too,
and it was still as bad as you originally remembered.
I don't hate it. Like Annihilation, I hate. I can't stand Annihilation, but it's Mortal Kombat's like a 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
it's middle of the road.
What did you give this one, Jesse?
So
what would you give this one, I guess?
I guess in the terms of like all movies, I would give it a 7.
Mhm.
For what it is supposed to be and what I expected, I gave it an 8 originally when I walked out, just because I didn't expect it to be like cinema.
That's understandable.
So I would give it an 8 in terms of like a fun action movie. I had a lot of fun with it.
Did you see it in theaters or did you
Yes,
see? Yeah,
which
okay.
I think made a huge difference. I don't know if you guys saw it in
I did
theaters.
not.
I didn't.
Man,
I wish I would have. I honestly would have preferred to see it in theater.
it was loud. It was definitely a theater movie. I haven't watched it at home yet, but I think that a lot of the reason why people don't like it is because they didn't watch it on a huge screen.
I have that feeling too, that at least for a little bit of your final grade, that it kind of takes away from that experience. The sound mixing I thought was brilliant in this
So
movie.
good.
Like, it sounds great. Every devastating blow you feel audibly, even when you close your eyes.
Yeah.
So you said 7 and then an 8 though from
what it is. I think it's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10 on my grade. I'm gonna stick with that. I gave it a C was my grade. 6 out of 10 or a C. I do think it is the best Mortal Kombat movie.
I think I'll probably come to that conclusion once I watch it more.
Yeah.
Because I think this one is worthy of watching again and again. Like, I think I could watch this and still be entertained.
I think the one miraculous thing is we all agree that a video game movie actually got a passing grade here.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Second one in the year.
Yeah.
Or last
Sonic
total year. Sonic was the other one.
Sonic was good.
So maybe we're moving in a decent direction. Maybe we can get like a
I hope so, because we got Uncharted on the way.
upbeat, yeah. Moving on from Mortal Kombat, though, the Oscars were last night. I know you guys probably don't care, but this is my prom every single year.
This is the first Oscars I have not watched in 7 years.
And I'll tell you what, you missed a good one, because this one totally reformatted everything. They took everything that's going on with COVID and they presented it as an opportunity to break conventions. And that's what I loved about this ceremony. Not only just with who's nominated as far as people of color goes and, you know, different nationalities and all that, but the ceremony itself, like how, you know, best picture came at like the third to last or fourth to last category during the night, when it's usually the very last one.
Right.
Yeah.
They did like best supporting actor second or third. It was crazy. Like they
Format wise, they changed it up,
jumbled everything. Yeah. And for my money, it worked. It was brilliant. There's some criticisms I have about the ceremony itself that I'll get to in a second, but I wanted to talk about some of the winners. I did pretty good on my picks. I went 15 out of 23. There were a couple of surprises for me, mostly in the best actor and best actress category. Anthony Hopkins took it for The Father, which I am beyond elated. I just couldn't believe Chadwick Boseman didn't win, considering he swept every single award show leading up to this Oscars.
I didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing, and it's probably like a hot take, but I'm glad they didn't just give it to him just to give it to him because he passed away.
Yeah.
Like, if they truly believe that Anthony Hopkins deserved it, then I respect that.
In
Because
my
I think
opinion,
it's-
Hopkins was better.
I think it's so easy just to say we're going to give it to Boseman out of a respect thing,
Mhm.
but you can still do something nice during the show and not have to give him the award if Hopkins was the better actor or the better movie or role or whatever, you know.
I feel they were both justifiably nominated for sure, but yeah, I think Hopkins' role is the best role of the year, period.
So I'm glad that he got it then.
Yeah.
You know, I like the doing it for them. Like, it happens, and I think that's probably what happened to a lot of the smaller shows leading up to this one, is they gave it to Boseman out of a kind of a nod type thing, more so than like, did that role really earn it?
Would you say a sympathy vote?
Yeah, I don't want to say a sympathy, because I kind of think that's, I don't know,
Disrespectful.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, I mean, ideally, kind of just like out of a respect type thing. Like, remember him by like this year, this was his year or whatever, and then we'll move on from there. But
yeah, he got the Golden Globe, he got the SAG award, he got the Independent Spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of a shock to see Anthony Hopkins win. A bigger shock was Frances McDormand taking the Best Actress category, when people thought this was Carey Mulligan's year for Promising Young Woman.
Yeah.
You know, there were some people saying that Viola Davis did enough in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to take it again, possibly. And then out of left field, I think everybody's fifth pick was Frances McDormand, who's a hell of an actress in her own right. She's got 3 Oscars now of her own.
Yeah.
But like, this was not the year to probably give it to her. It seems strange, and it just seemed like they wanted to add to that Nomadland kind of love and gushing.
Is
Kind
that
of a
who
piggyback
won?
off of
That's who won Best Picture, Nomadland.
Who was the actress? What movie was the actress from?
Frances McDormand was Nomadland.
That's who won Best
Yeah.
Actor. Okay,
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that yet. What were you saying?
Piggybacking off of what you said though about like why you think the nomination went to Chadwick because he passed away.
Mhm.
Same thing with, what is her name from Promising Young Woman?
Carey Mulligan.
I think because of the topic of that movie,
Yeah.
she got that also, because I love that movie.
Mhm.
I don't think that she's close to a best
Interesting.
Best Actress.
I like that hot take.
Yeah, I'm bad at trying to depict what I would consider the best actress or actor. Like, I love that movie, so like if I'm gonna vote, I'm voting just based on my love for that movie, and I guess I don't like narrow it down to like how well did she individually do to be able to pick her as the best actress.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I maybe would end up agreeing with Jesse. I haven't seen Nomadland, so I don't really know how well that person did. And Promising Young Woman was good.
Yeah, another good movie, which I'm glad got some Oscar recognition. A movie that I know at least two of us liked. I wasn't sure if you saw it or not. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel Kaluuya totally swept all of the award show as far as, you know, on the road to the Oscars, and he won his Oscar. This time he got to accept live and in person, as opposed to his Golden Globes, which got marred with audio technical difficulties. This speech was awesome. You know, he thanked a lot of people, including his mom and dad, for having sex, which was awkward with his mom sitting right there in attendance.
I was gonna say, I saw a headline that said speech embarrasses mom or something, but I never clicked into it. That's why. He's
the most charismatic dude, man. I love that. Anytime that guy, like I will follow that dude any movie that he does.
What was your first exposure to him?
Get Out.
Was it?
Yeah.
My first was Black Mirror.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh God, what season was that now?
Season 1. Or it might be 2.
I think I did. Then I think
it's 1 or 2. It's one or the other.
I think I have your answer then. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's the first time I ever saw him. It's one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. I had no idea who he was, and then out of nowhere he's in Get Out, and I'm like, that's the Black Mirror dude. And he just blew up from there.
And another great British actor too. So much so that every time he talks, I'm like, what? I always like forget that he's British. Like his accent's so thick too.
It always impresses me how well that these European actresses and actors do. I would never know.
Yeah,
it was hard for me to know Margot Robbie doesn't like English isn't her primary language.
Robbie's got a
she's
Australian accent.
Yeah.
Thick Australian
Is
accent.
it?
Yeah.
It's hard to
down on the Bobby.
Yeah, like it basically so she was interviewed before the show, as I sent Ryan some pictures of her in her dress. But yeah, she was like so much so that there's times where you almost have to take a second to say, what did she say? Like,
wow.
Yeah, like she's a very thick accented actress.
Huh. I guess that.
Moving on from that, though, there was really nothing as far as controversy goes. There was one segment where Glenn Close, they did like a Lil Ray Howard was kind of like the host of the show, so to speak. And he went around and did like a trivia game with all the celebrities. And Glenn Close got asked a question about like a rap group that she schooled everybody on. Like Glenn Close is apparently this 90s hip hop
aficionado.
Icon. Yeah, like she knows everything about it.
That's dope.
So she's schooling them on this like 2-minute speech about 90s Chicago hip hop and all this. And then like she gets up and she starts shaking her ass and she dropped an F-bomb. That was like the only controversy for the night. Where the only negative I had for this ceremony, and I thought it was one of the better Oscars that I'd ever seen from start to finish. The only controversy I had was the in memorandum. The segment where they kind of show all the people who have passed over the last year.
Yeah.
So they skipped Naya Rivera and they skipped Jessica Walter, who was the mom from Arrested Development, who has been in over 100 movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those two, their fans are firing back on Twitter right now.
When did they pass?
Walter passed in late January or early February. Enough so that she could definitely.
Would they be on next year's though, because they didn't pass in 2020? Because I know they do that sometimes, even though it's delayed.
I think now they would, obviously, you know, now it's kind of like a way like, man, we better make this up. Rivera passed way before that though. There's no excuse totally for Rivera.
I don't care for Job.
Yeah,
you guys both watch that show, right?
Oh, dude, I fucking love Arrested Development. And Job's my favorite character. Steve Holt is a bastard.
Illusions, Michael. Tricks are things that whores do for money.
So is that when they did something for Boseman and was just in there, or did they do something else?
So yeah, so here's my problem with it too. In addition to that, they do Boseman at the very end. Obviously, he's the biggest name that's going to be called. We all expected that. But the song that it plays through, it's like 3.5 minutes, and they have probably 120 celebrities to get through. Jeez. So like every picture's like,
yeah, they're clicking through them.
It's almost like kind of insensitive. I understand you don't want this to be like a 10 or 20 minute thing, but in years past, they don't have a problem doing that.
Yeah, it usually takes a while. It's like at least 7 to 10 minutes or so, I would think.
Yeah. And when it comes to like the pacing of this show, you know, it was probably 3 hours and 15 minutes, which is short for an Oscar film. I know that.
I was like, that's long.
Yeah, I know that's like, it sounds like a lot, but usually Oscars are around that 4 hour mark. They end right around midnight.
Yeah.
This one got out about 11:15, which I thought for the most part, it was paced well, other than that music trivia game. I felt you could have disposed of that, you know, dropped that out and then made the memorandum a little longer. As it stands, though, I thought this was one of the more memorable Oscars. And I think if you're going to recommend one to somebody who's not interested in it, this is probably the one I would, just because it's culturally significant.
Fuck.
Any favorite or notable speeches that you liked from the night?
Kaluuya's was great. Trying to think now, all the winners. I like, you know, honestly, there were a lot of people obviously taking, you know, like social issues, police brutality and all that was a big factor on the night. And I love when people, you know, take that kind of format and use it to expose it to a larger audience. Joaquin Phoenix was there. I was expecting he was going to say something, but he didn't. He was just there to hand out the last award of the night. But yeah, a lot of important speeches like that, just topical things. I thought HER, which is one of my favorite R&B musicians, like she had a beautiful speech, talked about, you know, being the victim, like her grandmother was a victim of police brutality when she was a little girl and she actually witnessed it. So yeah, I thought it was very heartfelt, especially considering her songs in conjunction with Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
Angriest you've ever been watching the Oscars because of an upset,
Oh God.
or what you felt was wrong?
What was the year?
Doesn't have to necessarily know the year and everything, but who was it?
I
Or
know
what was it.
I know what it is, but I'm gonna sound like an asshole just saying
what
it,
is it?
but it's the truth. So like in 2015, it was the 2016 ceremony. The Revenant was nominated for Best Picture. It swept all of the award shows leading up to it, and then it lost to Spotlight. In that, Spotlight's a great film. Don't get me wrong; it's a very important film. But The Revenant was so fucking good.
Mine is from the exact same era, not the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Whiplash should have beat Birdman.
Yeah, I agree.
Hands down.
I
was
agree.
So fucking pissed.
Whiplash was the best film.
And I
that
love
year.
those were my two favorite movies that year.
Mhm.
But Whiplash was better.
I can't remember if it was you or I just saw it online, but there was talk of Tyler Perry having a good speech or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Tyler Perry won the Humanitarian Award. He was one of two who actually won that award last night. And his speech kind of went through a video package, basically of all of the lives that he touched with this whole COVID tragedy. He fed the whole city of New Orleans, I think it was, during this whole thing. Like he would give out, you know, turkeys and all kinds of stuff, like to just all of its citizens. And I thought it was a real compassionate video, and it showed the better side of a guy that you don't really get the time to know through some of these silly movies that he directs.
Yeah.
You know, like for someone like me who hates Medea films, despises them, this video package won me over. And I thought he was a really cool guy, and, you know, a guy who's earned everything that he's ever gotten.
Very cool.
Yeah, I recommend checking that speech out on YouTube. That one is very sentimental.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's Oscar talk. We're gonna round it out here with a question that I asked these gentlemen. So I saw this post online, and you know, you always see these things floating around Facebook. This one was, name a film or films that traumatized you as a little kid. I know there's going to be some exceptions, because obviously sometimes people don't get traumatized at that age when they're watching a film. So if you were older when this happened, that's cool too. You can play that card. Any scenario is fine with me. Let's start with Jesse.
Yeah. So I was pretty sheltered from anything like that. I wasn't allowed to watch any scary movies until I was like 12 or 13. So I didn't really have anything that was like overly traumatic. There was some stuff that was scary. Obviously the little tunnel in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was one of the things.
God.
The
He
dude
yells.
from Who Framed Roger Rabbit
Oh yeah, Judge
freaked
Doom.
me out whenever he's like
When
melting
I kill
people.
your brother!
Yeah, and his eyes are popping out and everything. That freaked me out. What else was there? I was traumatized by The Lion King. I cried all the time whenever Mufasa died. That was awful.
The death, yeah. It seems
but
like every kid cried during that movie.
that was my first movie that I've ever seen in my life. I was 2
really?
years old, and I guess when we were in the theater, I just went, "Oh no!" and just started crying. My mom had to take me out.
God, I'm jealous you had a great first theatrical
Yeah.
movie experience.
So
I did not.
Yeah.
No.
the one movie that truly has traumatized me in my life was not when I was a kid. Well, I was a kid, but I wasn't a child. Was when Paranormal Activity came out.
Okay.
That movie fucked me up.
That was 2000. Was that 2004?
No, I was close to graduate. It's 2010 at least.
Yeah, you're right.
I still never saw any of those.
Really?
So I was working at the movie theater.
I think it's so bad.
Every trailer showed nothing of the movie. It was just the reaction of the audience. Like that was like the first viral campaign of like everybody just screaming, and they were like, "It's the scariest thing you've ever seen." Blah 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 blah. But like, I went into that not knowing anything about the movie, and they just did it so well. And then there were so many similarities from the girl in that movie to me. She was an English teacher. I was an English teacher. They were like a super low budget film. They had this little cheetah rug in their living room in that movie. I had the exact same one from Walmart in my bedroom from whenever I was a kid, and had a jungle themed room in our basement bedroom. They had the demon coming down from the little drop ceiling in the attic. That drop ceiling to the attic was in my fucking closet.
We're gonna start calling you Katie.
I'm literally sitting there watching the movie like, what the fuck? And the moment that got me was when she's in the bed and she's under the blankets, and it pulls her out from under the blankets onto the floor. Because as like you grow up feeling like the blankets are your solitude. You put the blankets on, nothing can grab you. You're terrified, but you're safe under your blankets. Because I used to caterpillar. I still do. Like I wrap my blankets under my legs, under my arms. Now it's for comfort. But as a kid, it was because I was fucking scared.
Yeah.
And like that shit was just like, it just took that safety of my childhood away from me in that moment. And it's fucking awful. She's screaming and gets drug out. He goes to get her, the door slams, and it's fucking terrifying. I slept on the couch for 3 months.
The important thing about that movie, the presentation, like it doesn't use any musical to enhance it. Like it's always, like surveillance camera footage. So everything you're hearing in real time. And I love that aspect about it. Part that chilled me in that movie was where she's just standing over his bed, just kind of like looking at him and just rocking.
And then they speed it up, and she's just like,
yeah. And like she had to have stood there for like over an hour easily. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, if I saw that,
fucking out.
Get the fuck out.
I'm not with you anymore. Sorry. I'm out. Like they act really well in that too. And they're nobodies. Like it was just done really well. Last one that I had was something that is a children's movie, but I didn't see it as a child. It is The Adventures of Mark Twain. If you've never seen it, it's a claymation. Where they take a bunch of kids around and they just kind of like go through different stories and things like that. But at one point, the kids meet Satan, and he takes them through this whole like, he has this really high-pitched weird voice like this, and his face is like, it contorts and changes. So sometimes he kind of looks like the comedy and tragedy masks like that you would see at an opera. And so he's talking to them, and he claymation like controls this little mini claymation village that they're watching. And it's like these little people, and they're walking around with their animals, and it's all nice and good. And then he like causes like all these earthquakes, and he's talking about how like they're doomed to be destroyed. It's just, you can tell he's like evil. Like, at first you're like, what the fuck, who is this guy? And then you're like, holy shit, that's fucking Satan. And like, there's no doubt in my mind that dude is the best representation of Satan that I've ever seen in any movie. And it is terrifying.
Is this like a PG movie? Because like Mark Twain gets into some pretty adult themes in it.
Probably. I haven't seen it in so long now, but it's something that I've been looking for to try to find because I want to watch the entire thing over again.
Wow.
It is terrifying though. Like even as an adult, it is very unsettling.
Sounds like it, man.
So that's mine.
Ryan, do you have any?
As a kid, probably Poltergeist. The parking garage like puddle scene.
Oh yeah.
Anytime I'd see a puddle, I was terrified I was gonna like fall in it or someone was gonna like pull me into it.
I always say Poltergeist is the scariest PG movie ever, dude. And people are amazed by that.
As a kid though, like that shit was creepy. I love the movie.
Yeah.
But watching as a kid, like it didn't matter. It was PG. That shit creeped me the fuck out.
Poltergeist is terrifying.
It's so good. So Poltergeist probably as a kid. Event Horizon. I didn't really watch as a kid. That was a teenager movie, but still, like that movie is so fucked up.
How old were you? You were like 16.
Still good. Yeah, I was probably 16 or so, and I remember watching that for the first time, just being like, "What the fuck?"
So good.
It was one of the movies where you like watch through your fingers at certain points, you know, because you're terrified of what's gonna happen.
The makeup, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
God,
so good.
But that's really all I can think of. Like, there's not many movies that I've ever felt terrified of. You know, like scary movies don't really scare me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember as a kid the poltergeist thing. Like I remember being afraid of like a puddle on the ground or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to just bother me.
That little girl who died a horrible death.
It's awful.
Yeah, that movie's cursed as fuck.
Yeah, that movie has some bad. You're the one that turned me onto that special.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
that was the only one I
Shudder?
got to see, but I really wanted to see that one
Yeah.
specifically. I know a couple of backstories on like the Twilight Zone movie. That one's really fucking cursed.
Dude, that one, when I watched that, they showed the footage of what happens in
plane.
that movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
So when that shit happened, I was like, oh my God. Like I literally jumped. That is one of the few things I've ever seen on TV that physically moved me.
I'm going to explain it.
Fill us in. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm going to explain it.
Yeah, tell them.
So in the Twilight Zone movie, it came out in 86.
Yeah.
It's like one of the stories in that is like these.
He's a time traveler or something.
They're Asian
I
kids.
know the movie, but I don't know what you're talking about.
There's two Asian kids who are like prisoner at some kind of like sweat camp or something like that. And he breaks them out, this American man, and they're running away in one of the sequences and they tread through this water. But then like the end of the story is that a plane comes and kind of takes them out.
Helicopter.
Yeah. Helicopter does. Yeah. And in real life, all three of those people died because you'll see it's on YouTube. You can find this footage. A helicopter comes down, lands on them, chops the children up. And the guy, I think, gets like runned over or something like
you can't see him.
Movie, but this was in the movie, but that wasn't supposed to happen. It was like an accident.
Yeah. So they reshot the scene obviously post death, like to make it look like that was never even in the movie. But
What
like
the
this footage is very well known. You can find it. It's easy to see on YouTube.
Because the dude, he put like pyrotechnics way too close and underneath of like huts and things. And they told him like, dude, this is dangerous. You can't do it. And he was basically like, fuck off. I can do what I want. And it ended up messing with the flight of the helicopter that was just supposed to be hovering and caused it to crash and killed them. And on this show,
man.
I didn't know that this was going to happen. So I'm watching, I'm like, oh man, this dude's going to like trip and these kids are going to drown. Like, this is going to be terrible. And then a fucking helicopter drops on them. And I just was like, I was fucking shook after that. And that was something that traumatized me.
Well, yeah, shit. And because the angle of it, like, so you don't see the helicopter coming initially.
Yeah.
You just see this guy running with these kids through this water. And then it just like
And they all
comes
die.
down suddenly out of nowhere.
What the fuck?
It's awful.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird shit like that, did the Wizard of Oz thing, ended up being
It was
proof fake, right?
Hoax. Yeah. The guy hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Allegedly.
yeah. What about did you guys ever watch 3 Men and a Baby?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
ghost. It's a hoax.
The
It's a piece of
guy
cardboard.
staying with like a shotgun or something in the window.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
not
ghost.
true.
It's a yeah. Well, it's supposed to be a ghost.
of someone, like a
Yeah.
dead person.
It was
with
a cardboard
shotgun.
cutout from some other scene or something that they forgot or some shit.
It was another movie of one of the stars. Yeah. And it had it just in the
Okay.
window. Somebody put it there as a joke and they left it in the scene.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I have 3 picks. The road I went with mine is I went all kid when I was a child. Basically kind of like, I forget who said it, Jesse or Ryan, no horror movie really scared me when I was a child. I was kind of turned on to them at a very early age. And for me, they were my escape. Like that was kind of my, I never found anything about it even remotely scary, but these movies I did. When I was a kid, E.T. used to freak me the fuck out.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. So specifically the part where, so early on in the movie where E.T. first lands, he's out in the darkness of this field, their backyard, the main family's backyard. And like, you see him and the boy has like a flashlight and all of a sudden the flashlight goes over it and you see him, he goes,
Yeah.
like, that scene fucked me out. Like that's how you do a jump scare. That's a perfect jump scare.
Have you ever rode the ET
Yes,
ride
the bike.
at Universal?
The bike, yes. Yeah. I did it right before. So I did the California one and it was supposedly a month before they were going to take it off. So yeah, I was one of the last ones that got in there.
Yeah, dude. That ride is fantastic.
I think that was one of my favorite ones. That and the Back to the Future were
Is that
really
John
good.
Williams?
Yeah.
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 John Williams is untouched.
Always worked with Spielberg. Yeah. Like, especially early on.
Yeah, ET. I've heard a lot of people say that really creeped them out. It is kind of creepy though.
That one and the government part too, where they've got him in like those tents and all
That
that.
is
And you see
freaky.
ET and he's like,
Well, and Elliot's like all fucking pale and white.
Yeah.
yeah. Fucked me up.
That's a good choice.
An American Tale, not American Tale 5 Goes West, but An American Tale. So there's a part late in the movie, the climax of it, if you will, where the mice fight back against the cats, and they make this huge ship with a mouse head on the edge of it. And I can't even describe this to justice. The lighting, everything about this, the special effects, they show fireworks. It makes this mouse's head come to life and he roars like, I don't know. It's this loud, ear-piercing roar.
Yeah.
And I would have been just like these cats, scattered and fucking scared out of my mind. If
I've never seen that one. I've only seen Five Goes West.
They're both
fantastic.
They're both good. Yeah. I like both of them. I think I probably give Five Goes West the edge.
Yeah.
It's better paced for me. But both.
It's interesting that both of those are part of, I know not West, but Fievel. And because Fievel and E.T. Are right next to each other at Universal. And I'm like, can you please fucking get rid of that Fievel thing? Because it's just a waste of space. It's a great movie, but
it's still there.
It's odd that they both traumatize you. At the Universal in Orlando, there's a Fievel Goes West like playground area, and it's huge. And I'm like, tear that shit down.
That movie was 1992,
Honestly,
and it's still there.
What the fuck does the spider yell at him whenever he's chasing him underneath the train?
Oh, fuck. The wicked eye or something. Oh,
yeah.
God. Nobody can escape the wicked eye.
Yeah, it's something like that. I need to watch that again. Such a good movie.
Such great. My last one, a lot of kids will agree with me. In fact, one of our listeners even played this as hers, Return to Oz.
Return to Oz is a fucked up movie.
Fucked me up as a kid.
I've never seen that.
Oh my God. This is on Disney Plus.
Return to Oz is the one where they're like giving her electrotherapy at the beginning, right?
They give her a lobotomy at the beginning of the fucking movie.
Yeah, they think she's fucking psycho.
Yeah.
And they're like electrocuting her and shit.
Yeah. So
definitely have never seen that.
So basically, once they're electrocuting her, that's how she gets transported to Oz. And then you think about this in real life context. You're like, well, here's this little girl who's suffering, on this table, and she's just having one last fantasy, pretty much.
Is it the same characters
Dorothy,
and everything?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the same actresses.
No. Fairuza Balk plays Dorothy in this one, who's basically Vicky Valancourt from,
I gotcha.
And of course in The Craft.
Yeah.
But this movie is filled with just basically horror imagery for a movie that's fantasy. Everything in that castle, like the evil castle that they go into, everything from there till the end of the movie is terrifying. This is a point when kids' movies had balls and they weren't afraid to show this kind of imagery and kind of test kids' imagination. And I appreciate it more for that, especially watching it today.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
What is your saddest kid movie? Saddest child movie?
I know what it is. It's either Lion King or The Neverending Story. Those two scenes fucked me up as a kid.
As far as kids' movies go?
Yeah, like saddest, like it doesn't have to be like a Disney, but like saddest childhood movie for you.
Oh, you know what? I know what it is. And it's so stupid when I look back at it now. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
That last scene, well, especially when you know the little girl in real life who voices the little girl in that movie, like was brutally murdered when she was 10 years old.
Oh, fuck.
So it adds an even darker underlining to the whole scene. That last goodbye scene, made me tear up.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
I was a stupid kid.
Neverending Story. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that is a good pick.
A good choice too.
I love the first two.
What's a fucking horse's name?
Oh, Atreyu.
Yeah, Atreyu.
Yeah.
That thing is so fucking creepy, man. That's a creepy movie to me.
Yeah, that first one especially.
It's real fucking weird, dude. That dog dragon thing.
I don't know why I cared so much as a kid either, because Atreyu's only in it for like 5 minutes before they kill him off.
Yeah.
What was the boy's name? The actor that was who played him? Jonathan something, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember who it is. I think he killed himself.
Oh, Brandis.
Jonathan
Brandis, you're right.
He killed himself.
He was, because they did a different boy for the second movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, you gotta love those 80s and 90s kids movies. Everybody just dies or kills themselves.
Oh, it's a rough time. I'd say probably Lion King or Fox and the Hound. Fox and the Hound was awful.
So good.
Yeah.
I loved that movie as a kid. I ran that tape out.
Me too, but I knew I had to be in the right mental state.
I can't remember.
I was gonna fucking cry.
You don't want to watch that movie.
I can't remember what happened.
I know, but it's so good. It's so good until the part where it gets bad.
What happens? I don't remember. I've been trying to rack my brain. I cannot remember that movie. I know I've seen it hundreds of times.
The dog or whatever dies.
Mm-hmm.
The dog dies?
The dog dies.
It's shot?
I can't remember if it was like a trap or he gets shot or something, but like one of them, it's been so long.
Yeah.
Like I haven't watched
That's
it.
totally erased from my mind. That's just probably childhood trauma. Just
dude.
That's what it is.
Just buried deep in there.
Should have played it.
I watched that movie so much.
It was so good. I would watch it all the time and then I'd fucking just be depressed afterwards.
Mm-mm.
So, all right. What else you got, Chris?
That's it. That's it for Hollywood Report.
Any good ones from online? I know you posted that online.
Well, What?
Your childhood trauma.
I'll tell you what. Give me a second.
I know that there was a couple people that said one of the same movies.
Chitty Chitty Bang
Chitty
Bang
Chitty
was
Bang
on
Bang.
there a lot.
Yeah, there were a couple of people that said Chitty Bang Bang because there's
Catcher.
a child catcher. Yeah, and I've got to go back and watch that movie again. I vaguely remember it.
He's like this creepy ass dude who goes out and he's like, children, I've got candy. And then he like tricks some kids into like this little carriage and then they all drop down and it's just like bars.
Who thought that was a good idea? Gremlins, somebody played. Somebody played Mississippi Burning, which is a terrifying movie from a black perspective. Somebody played Fences.
It's not a childhood movie.
Nightmare on Elm
You
Street.
said it didn't have to be.
Nightmare on Elm Street is scary.
Yeah, the first one is
When he first goes through the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That still looks good.
great special effects in that
Yeah.
movie. Very underrated. Norm said Chucky, so Child's Play. And we do have a never ending story on here.
Never ending story.
So in Fox of the Hound, Todd dies
Mhm.
running away from the
So
dog.
The fox
The
dies.
fox dies because they grow up and they grow separate,
Yeah.
and the dog becomes a hunting dog, and his owner sick him
Oh.
on Todd
I remember this.
unknowingly, and
Yeah.
as he's running away, he dies of exhaustion,
God, I
and
suppressed
then the
that.
dog finds him.
Fuck.
tries to, like,
Maybe
save
I
him.
probably was too little to realize that he died of exhaustion.
too.
He probably was just like,
Because I thought he
tired.
got like, yeah.
See, and that's a good question too.
Sad,
When you watch
man.
these scenes as a kid, you interpret them differently. Obviously, you don't
Yeah.
fully grasp the magnitude of the situation, the permanence.
Well, like I was watching Willy Wonka as a kid. I didn't think those kids were dead.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, he's just gonna get him at the fudge factory. It's fine. Like now, I'm like, that's just a fucking murderer, man.
What a lawsuit's coming to that guy, man.
Jeez. Where do we go from here? You found some? Or we went over the ones that you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
we went
from
through.
online?
Also, we had one from your wife who said ransom. That was the last one.
Oh, that's not
Gibson.
bad.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Shaker Day. Gary Sinise, great villain.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I watch it just for entertainment
Yeah,
value.
me too. I think it's a great movie.
I mean-
I like Mel Gibson in that movie.
A kid gets kidnapped, obviously, but that's the whole
Yeah.
point of the movie.
There's worse than that.
Yeah.
Shit. Sports? Want to do sports?
Let's do sports.
One down, line to deep left field. It is gone! 45-40. Run, Williams, run! 20, 15. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the...
This is locker room talk.
This is locker room talk.
Jesse never gets more excited about anything in his life.
Fucking love sports.
What is going on in the wide world of sports, sir?
Not shit. There ain't
No.
nothing going on in sports
There's
except
not.
for the draft, which I will be attending on Friday. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, me and Chris are going with you.
Are you? You're not vaccinated. You
Crickets.
don't get to go anyway.
Are we going with him?
You don't get to go. You're not vaccinated. Ryan doesn't believe in the
I'm
vaccine.
fucking vaccinated.
I
I was the first one.
If my brother wasn't going, I'd have taken you. I don't get to pick. I got one.
So
My dad got the other.
serious question. You guys are just going for day one then?
Day two. First round is
Oh,
Thursday, and then
okay.
the second, I think it's second and third round are
Yeah,
Friday.
They do like a shit ton of rounds there, like Friday
yeah.
and Saturday.
Is that this week?
yes.
Oh, damn.
And then Saturday will be all day, 4
Yeah.
through 7. But those are like rapid fire picks at that point.
You guys are going Friday all day? It's like an all day thing?
Friday, I'm going up right after work.
Yeah.
So we'll get there around 5, and then draft starts at 7. So we'll see whatever's going on around there, get our seats.
Is there like a concert
Kick
and
it.
stuff? Or you literally
Musical
just gonna sit in
performances.
the audience and watch people?
Do either of you know who the Black Pumas are?
No,
Never heard
I
of
know
it.
Kings of Leon and MGK are performing.
Yes. I did never heard of the Black Pumas, but they are finishing the draft that night. So they must be, I guess they have Grammys, like 3 Grammys. I don't know who they are.
Black Keys?
No,
Yeah,
Black
I know who
Pumas.
they are. Seen them like 5 times.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah,
Black
no.
Keys. I never heard of the Black Pumas.
Black
though.
Pumas. Never heard of them, but they're going to be performing. So I'll find out, I guess.
Sorry to interrupt your Black Pumas party.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
I never heard of them.
But yeah, so draft talk. Figured we could start it off there
Oh,
because
you-
I have a feeling it's going to maybe take a little while.
You don't want to talk about Chris Weidman's leg?
Chris Weidman's leg.
Ryan wants to.
Who that UFC fight?
broke his
wait,
leg.
fucking broke it. I didn't watch that fight.
Bro, fuck that. It's like fucking jello. Ugh.
That's what happens, man.
Anderson Silva. Who was Anderson Silva
Silva's
fighting?
was bad. Silva wrapped all the way around that dude's leg.
He was fighting him.
Who was Anderson Silva fighting when he broke his leg?
Weidman.
Chris Weidman.
Oh, fuck. I didn't realize
Welcome to irony.
Wow.
Go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Nasty.
No, that's fine. I didn't even realize that. That's a fun fact brought to you by Made to Motivate. No, but so I tasked the fellas with, I didn't want to do an entire draft because 32 picks would take forever and we don't need to have an entire NFL fucking mock draft on here. If you would like an entire one, you can find that over at the Casuals Fantasy Football Podcast where they did their mock drafts today. But I figured we could do our top 10. They shout us out a lot. I like helping them out.
This guy.
We can do our top 10 picks and then top however many, like 3 to 5 targets that you want for your personal
I
team.
got 7.
Ryan said he doesn't know anything about football, so he did not.
I would like a new quarterback.
You would like a new quarterback? Which one?
I don't know.
You can have Mac Jones.
someone worthwhile. I would like a new quarterback.
Trade up and get
And
Fields.
I don't know what
Oh,
else. We need
no.
a lot more than just that.
I do not
but
want that.
Trade up and get Fields. That's your best option.
There's no way they could even trade up that high. So let's start with our top 10. So you don't have a top 10. Your 1 through 10 mock draft.
I don't even know who was in the draft.
Yeah, I figured. Chris did his though.
Top
So I'm
10.
thinking we'll go 1,
Back,
1,
back.
1, 2, 2. I can't imagine that we have a different number 1. Jaguars taking Trevor Lawrence. Everybody knows it. He already has a playbook. That's just done. So, you know,
What do you think about that pick?
I think it better not take 10 fucking minutes for them to put it in.
Isn't that the worst?
I hate that shit.
Why do you do?
I think that he's good. I think that I struggle going between, because the argument for me is he better than Burrow was last year? I think that he has been dominant for longer
Mhm.
than Burrow was. I also think that he has not played his best in very stressful situations.
I think so too.
I think that he definitely can be an elite quarterback in the NFL. I think the AFC North is going to have the best core of quarterbacks going forward still, but the Jags finally have a chance to get back to being a solid team. You got James Robinson, you got a decent defense, you got some good wide receivers with DJ Chark and a couple of other guys.
And they have the line to protect him, unlike Cincinnati does for Burrow.
Right. I think he'll succeed. I don't know if he's going to go out there and look like Justin Herbert did last year or Baker Mayfield the year before. But he'll be solid. I think that he's their franchise quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold that he's the best quarterback in the draft.
I don't
though.
think he is either. I'm not saying that. He's just number 1 on this draft.
Yeah. Who do you got for number 2?
Zach Wilson for the New York Jets.
Same.
Quarterback.
Dude is, I don't know. I mean, he's just good. He had that big time pro day. Everybody freaked out about that pass that he made, which Fields made the next day even farther, but whatever.
Mhm.
I think he's got all the skills. He can make all the throws, good body type. I heard an interesting take on the radio, which I didn't know this, so I don't want to act like it's like my take, but so he goes to BYU,
Mhm.
which is in Utah. He's a Mormon. I guess that's like a really big deal. It's the first time that they've had a Mormon quarterback there. So
Oh,
there was a
really?
ton of pressure on him at all times to perform like for his state, basically, and like his people. So they were just brought up like, you know, that he's already seen adversity. He's had to, you know, go out there and make sure that he represented every single week. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know if I buy into the narrative that he's had all this pressure on him already, so he'll be able to handle New York fucking city.
Mhm.
But I think that he'll be okay. I don't know if I think that he's better than Lawrence or Fields.
Mhm.
I think that he really shot up the boards late in the year when he didn't necessarily do much to deserve to do that.
And you play an easy schedule too.
He could easily become Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. But I think he'll be okay. I think he could be Andy Dalton, honestly. That's what I think he'll be.
That's a fair comparison. I think if you're more the first half of Andy Dalton's career, I think the Jets will take that. you
Yeah,
know?
I think they would too.
I like Wilson. You know, I honestly think, you know, when you go to the Jets, it's kind of like it's almost doom for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But like, I actually think this is probably the right move for sure. Like now I think there's other quarterbacks in this draft that are better than him, but I think for their scheme, I think Wilson fits perfectly.
I do agree with that. I don't think Justin Fields would do well with the Jets either.
No, I don't either.
Even though I think he's better. I also think that Sam Darnold was better prospect than him, and he didn't do well. So
Yeah, I think his college performance was definitely better for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about number 3, 49ers?
Number 3, yeah, I got San Francisco 49ers, obviously. Quarterback, Mac Jones.
Wow. First differing take. Why do you have Mac Jones?
I have Mac Jones because I feel like, especially with Shanahan there, he loves the arm over the run, and Mac Jones seems to give them everything that he could want in that perspective. And I just see the Niners kind of blowing this pick anyway. I don't see, I don't have faith in Mac Jones, but I feel like he's one of those picks that's going to go down as a Ryan Leaf.
Okay. I have the same position as you, but I have a different quarterback.
I think I know who.
I think that they will take Justin Fields.
Oh, I didn't think. All right.
And I think that he is going to be dangerous for them.
Mhm.
I trust Kyle Shanahan to use his weapons properly. I think that Justin Fields has the mobility and the ability with his arm as well to be able to do whatever Kyle Shanahan draws up.
Mhm.
They have Deebo Samuel, who is explosive and a monster at wide receiver.
Well, they got the weapons.
They have Brandon Ayuk, who is a young superstar. They have George Kittle coming back. You're going to put in an electric quarterback with already a ton of really great options. And you don't need him to be just like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people think that Mac Jones is going to go there because he's basically a young Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
But I think that Shanahan is creative enough to go, hey, this is a weapon. I'm going to be able to utilize this guy, and I'm going to make sure that we are the top offense in the NFL.
So in my opinion, I agree with you 100%. Fields on San Francisco is the best pick that they could possibly ask for. In my opinion, Justin Fields is the best quarterback in this draft.
I think it's close between him and Lawrence. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up better. That's the one guy.
Here's my thing with Fields, though, and you're going to see this in my narrative as we go down this list.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that one quarterback who hangs on for too long, and he uses it as aggression. Call it your Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, if you will. And I think Justin Fields is going to be that guy, sadly. But I think he's going to use it as motivation, and the team he ends up on, he's going to help.
He's falling down boards, supposedly.
Is he?
I hope that it is a smokescreen, but there are so many reports coming out about him. And you got a lot of pushback from social media and stuff, but a lot of people were talking about how he checked down the ball a lot, but then they're like, well, he also leads the league in 30-yard passes.
Oh,
and
he's outstanding.
They're talking about how he has epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a big thing now that everybody's talking about. How far will he fall because of that? Can you trust it? Dude's been playing for years and you haven't had an issue. It's not going to be an issue in the NFL. So
I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
He's got the line to protect him if he does go to San Francisco, like you said.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a differing opinion on this next pick. The Atlanta Falcons at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
So I've got to trade up on this one. I feel like the Chicago Bears are going to trade up and take this pick. And I think Trey Lance is going to go to Chicago.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man, Chicago takes Trey Lance. I like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. Where is Chicago at? I don't have them on. I don't have it in front of me.
So they were,
I want to say they're like 20. Does that sound
no,
right?
they're I think 14th.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not that big of a jump then, I guess.
Yeah. So they'll trade up a little bit. I feel like they need a quarterback badly. Their situation over the last decade, especially going back to Cutler, even, who I think was insanely overrated.
Even these last few years when they've been going like getting Foles, and then they had Trubisky, and then they just got somebody else. Like they're all over the place. So
it's time. Jimmy Clausen too is in that list. Notre Dame boy.
I think the best quarterback I've ever seen on their team was I can see his cigarette smoking face. It was him and Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the best quarterback I've ever seen play for Chicago.
Statistic wise, yeah, because they were always like a running team when they were good. So yeah. But I think Trey Lance goes. Who's your pick?
I do not think that they trade out, contrary to everybody's beliefs. I believe that they will take Kyle Pitts. I think that he will be
Tony G,
the second coming of Tony G.
Mm-hmm.
They are talking about possibly trading Julio right now to save $13.5 million off of their cap space.
Wow.
And I think that now would be the perfect time to do it. Calvin Ridley is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You add a guy like Kyle Pitts to the mix, he would be outstanding.
They're rebuilding anyway. So yeah, I think you're right.
Atlanta is where the tight end position really revolutionized and changed. And I think that if you are going to sit with those roots, like every time in Cleveland, we always say we want a great running back. We finally have one because that's our roots.
Mm-hmm.
Your roots in Atlanta are electric offense with a mismatch monster tight end, and you can get back to that with Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think they definitely somewhere down this board, whether it's round 2 or 3, they got to go for that quarterback of the future, man.
I agree.
They have to look for that, especially if this is the year you're going to go after a monster like Pitts.
If I'm then, I get a generational talent now, and I roll the dice on hoping I get my guy later, because I don't want to get the last guy standing in this draft at 4
and give him no weapons
right
on top of it. Yeah, for sure. It's a good pick.
Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you got?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly.
So we have the same guy.
Penei Sewell.
That is correct.
Yeah, offensive tackle.
Yeah, he's the best tackle in the draft.
Yeah, I agree. I want him bad.
I bet you do. He ain't falling that far. You got to trade up to get him if you want him.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they're going to take Jamar Chase. Not going to happen. I don't think so. That dude, Joe Burrow, is outstanding. He had a great freshman year. He would have been better than Herbert, I think, if he could have stayed healthy. He was throwing way too much. They need to get that righted in terms of like play calling and all that, but you have weapons already. Tyler Boyd is great.
Yeah.
T. Higgins is great. AJ Green is gone now, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. You have Joe Mixon, who can be electric. He's got some injury problems, but that's okay. You get in there and you get the guy that's going to protect Joe Burrow for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I'm real impressed with him watching his footage too. I think he's got explosive off the tackle.
And he's so young, he still has upside to go. Because there's another guy who I have in this top 10 who is probably more ready to play right now, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
So number 6, the Miami Dolphins. Who do you got?
So you just mentioned this guy a little bit ago, and I think they are going to go wide receiver. Jamar Chase is going to Miami.
I agree with you.
Okay, cool. For that pick, you don't think they're going to trade down or anything?
Nope. I think they take him right there at number 6.
I almost debated that.
It's going to be Cincinnati or them. He's not getting past Miami. They've already got some weapons. A lot of people are saying that Pitts, if he falls to them, they would pick them, which I could see them doing if it's between Pitts and Jamar, just because they already have some weapons at wide receiver.
Imagine Tua to Chase.
But they are going to they're going to put as many weapons around Tua as they possibly can, because he showed some flashes, but he didn't seem like he was, amazing that first year. So you got to help him as much as you can.
I think the weapons limited him for sure. They had one of the worst receiving core offenses in the league.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing that weighed them down.
And now you've added Will Fuller. You now have Jamar Chase potentially, and you have Devontae Parker.
It's a promising future.
And Mike Gesicki also. You can't have any excuses after that. And that's incredible.
Let's not forget, in an open division. I know the Bills claimed it last year, but I don't think that's a stronghold. I think that can be anybody this year.
Yeah, they're definitely not like the Patriots where they're going to be. The Jets still suck.
Yeah.
So you're going to be good to go.
Yep.
Number 7, the Detroit Lions. This was the first time that I had a very hard time coming up with a decision. What do you got?
Got my trade up.
Got your trade up?
Yep.
Who do you got?
Denver.
Okay.
Denver is trading up to get Justin Fields.
Nice.
Yep. I think in Denver, he can run that town. He could be mayor by tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
And especially in a team that now they need a lot. They're not just a Justin Fields away from going to the Super Bowl.
They do have really good receivers though.
They have
and a solid tight end as well. Noah Fant's pretty good. Jerry Jeudy, and they've got Cortland Sutton.
I'm not convinced with the defense. I know a lot of people give their defense credit, especially when it goes against division opponents. They have this way of shutting down Kansas City in ways that other teams just can't do it.
Yeah.
But for me, I think especially on the corners, they really need to be concerned with corners in this draft. Outside of probably Dallas, Denver is one of those teams that needs corners the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Justin Fields goes here. I think you're going to see that narrative play a little bit on like numbers, 4 or 5. Like, where's Justin Fields? Why has he not been picked yet? And everybody's going to raise a big deal. Once he's called for Denver, they're going to trade up. Explosion.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
What's yours?
I have them taking Rashawn Slater, left tackle.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that they traded for Goff. He is somebody that they think they can win with. I think that they're going to try to protect him, make sure that they can get it done. They've got some weapons in Detroit.
I hope you're wrong, but I love that pick.
Not a ton, but you got to protect your quarterback before you can start putting people all around him. So I think that that's what they do. And they hope that Goff pans out.
I hope you're wrong, but I love that pick. I can definitely see that pick. I just hope he falls a couple more spots.
At number 8, the Carolina Panthers. Who do you have?
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle
tight
Pitts.
Ends. Yep.
Man, that's such a far fall for him. I hate it.
Yes. For me, it's tough to justify that fall, but to me, I see I think Atlanta's the only team that I can honestly, legitimately say would take Kyle Pitts that's in that top 8. Why I think they pass is I think they have bigger concerns right now.
I agree with that.
You know, for me, he's a generational talent, and I'll give you that. Everything that I've seen on him, he looks great.
He's so crazy.
I just don't know if Atlanta's willing to roll all the dice on a tight end.
He has the longest wingspan in NFL history.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at someone like Carolina, who, you know, is nowhere close to the playoffs right now, really. Yeah. So they bring in a guy like Pitts. They're willing to take that chance just to sell seats, just to put butts in the seats.
I'd be totally fine watching CMC and Kyle Pitts ball out.
Yeah.
They still got some people down there.
Yeah, but that's why I said I think they're willing to just do it as more of a
DJ Morris down there too.
Yeah. I mean,
it could be a sleeper offense.
If they get, who's their QB? I'm sorry.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay. So if they get a quarterback, I think, man, that could be the key that, you know, unlocks all these beautiful things. No.
They have Sam Darnold. They traded for Sam Darnold. Okay. Sam Darnold could have a resurgence with that type of weaponry. I like that.
So if they get a quarterback, they'll be great. But yeah, that's it. Did you say your number 8?
I did not.
Okay.
My Carolina Panthers, I have taking Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. All right.
I think that he finally gets picked up there.
So do you think he's the narrative then? Do you think he's where is Trey Lance and all this?
I don't. I think Trey Lance is just a guy who needs to sit for a little while, but he has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. And I think with Teddy there and Darnold there, they'll be able to say, all right, sit here. If things don't work out, you're going to go in then. And then you got enough weapons there. He learns the offense a little bit. Sam Darnold starts to flat out just suck. And then he comes in, saves the day. And I don't know. There's just something about, I don't know.
North Dakota.
He just seems like a Panther to me for some reason. So I got a feeling he's going to end up there.
I like that pick though. I mean, why not take a chance on him? Like I said, I think they're going to need a quarterback. It kind of puts pressure on Darnold, especially for being new in town.
Sucks to suck, dude.
Yeah. But I like that pick. I think honestly, you need to reach for a quarterback.
Worst case scenario, Darnold starts to ball out. You've got your quarterback of the future, and now you've got a top 10 quarterback that you can trade out to somebody else for king's ransom.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Pick number 9, the Denver Broncos, which you've already traded up. So who's there for you now?
Detroit's getting that pick now. Okay. So Detroit is going to go, for the first time in their life, they're not going to draft a wide receiver. They are going to go with linebacker Micah Parsons.
Hot take.
I love it.
Bo Anderson says, Jesse is stupid. The Panthers ain't taking Lance. LOL.
Fuck you, Bo. Are we live? I didn't know we did it live.
I just started.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
God, I hate to see what he says about my picks. Got two trades already.
We'll see.
Micah Parsons, explosive, dude. And this guy has such a brain for the game too. Like he's almost instinctive, better than anybody at that position.
Fast also. The dude can rush, but he's a side to side type of guy also. He runs like a fucking 4.3, 4.4. Like we haven't seen that since Ryan Shazier.
Yeah.
Which granted, we didn't get actual combine times, but I mean the dude is still insane.
I like that comparison though to Shazier. I think you're right as far as everything goes, like body, skill for the game. I think that is a fair comparison. Yeah, I like Detroit's pick here. I think it's the best draft pick that they've had since Stafford.
I think that these last two picks are going to be very, very similar.
Okay.
My Broncos, I have taking Patrick Surtain, taking him from you guys just before your pick. You said yourself that they desperately need corners. Mm-hmm. They haven't had a great tandem since they had Aqib Talib and Chris Harris.
It's a fair call.
I think that he's the best corner in the draft.
Without question.
He's going to be a guy that's going to sit with them for a very long time.
Okay.
I know.
My number 10.
That's why I said it was going to screw you guys.
I got to go fantasy for my number 10.
All right. Your Dallas Cowboys at number 10. Who do you got?
Number 10, Dallas Cowboys. I've got, just imagine, Trayvon Diggs over here, Patrick Surtain over here. You've got that Alabama connection running the corners.
Yep.
Life is beautiful.
Yep.
I got Surtain. I honestly could legitimately see him fall this far. Denver's the one team that I'm scared of. Mm-hmm. If Denver gets the quarterback idea in their head, which I think they could, I think he falls to 10. And I could see Dallas legitimately taking him. I think this is the year Jerry hopefully finally comes to his senses and says, look, we don't need the sexy pick. We need the pick that's actually going to get us a decent defense and in the playoffs again.
Yeah. To be fair and to help you ease your conscience a little bit, every single mock draft that I've seen has him going to you, and it's almost locked in every single time. Perfect. So people do not believe that the Broncos will take him ahead of you guys. So hopefully it works out for you because I'd like to see a decent Dallas team. They need to make another resurgence.
I think the league's better, and I'm not saying this cocky. The same thing.
I'm not saying this cocking around.
Shut up, you. I think the same thing with the Browns. The league does better when the Browns are good.
It's true.
It's the same thing with Dallas. The league does better when Dallas is good.
There are teams in every single sport where no matter what, that team helps. If the Knicks were better, the NBA would be better.
I agree.
And Dallas, the Browns, both teams that should be better. Washington's another one I think that gets forgotten a lot, but I think that they make the league better. Pretty much that entire NFC East. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it just screams NFL to me.
Well, they got the most championships.
Yeah. Fuck them. For me,
number 10,
because your boy is gone, I have you guys taking Micah Parsons.
Ooh. I'm not mad at you, son.
I know
not even a bit.
I think he's just an all-around player. He's a playmaker across the board. He can do all types of different things. So I think that's the solid pick for you guys.
I would be shocked if he falls that far. I will gladly take him over Surtain.
He has what do they call character issues that people are worried about?
Welcome to Dallas.
Issues. Yeah, and you guys have never given a shit about that, so he fit right in. When they first started a couple months back, I was like, oh yeah, man, people don't like this guy. He's gonna fall. Like I'm there for it, you know. Pick him up at 26, and then he's so elite, doesn't matter. That dude could go around beating the shit out of his wife, and they'd be like, "Take him."
I honestly think they would, and Dallas would be happy to
Don't
take
make that face. Dallas would be the first one. They'd be like,
"Of Jesse Young, do not
beat your wife. We'll trade up for you."
He's not wrong, and I love that pick. Like honestly, if we can't have Surtain, I will gladly take Parsons.
Yeah. So those are my top 10. That's Chris's top 10. What do you guys got as far as targets for your team?
With the Steelers' first pick in the 2021
have you been
NFL
Googling like a motherfucker
draft,
over there?
I hope they take Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
The White Sox.
Yeah.
First baseman. That's cool.
Do you know any play? Do you even know who they're targeting at anything?
I have not a single clue.
So
I don't follow the draft.
You know what's
most
nice?
people are saying you're going to take Najee Harris.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
He's a very good running.
Are we getting a
back.
quarterback?
Huh?
Are we getting a quarterback?
No.
We're not.
You think they go
We're
running
still
back
rolling
first?
with.
I don't think that they should, but that is what every mock is saying.
For God's
and
sake,
I am shocked by it.
go after a fucking quarterback.
We need a quarterback.
I mean, what are you going to trade up to get though? You don't have you're going to trade pieces.
I
mean, you can trade up a ton of picks, but like your team is getting older.
Yeah, it's rebuild.
You're not like you're not going to get up there to get a top 3 guy. You're going to end up with Mac Jones, who fucking sucks.
If we keep putting it off, what are we going to do? Trade a quarterback mid-season or
You've
off?
tried to get quarterbacks.
What are we going to get?
You guys, the Steelers are great at evaluating certain types of talent. You find centers that are insane. You find wide receivers that are insane. You can't find quarterbacks. You lucked into Ben Roethlisberger so quickly.
Miami of
hadn't
Ohio.
hadn't had a good quarterback before that since fucking Terry.
Yeah.
And now you're going to go another 40 years without getting a good quarterback. Because fuck you guys.
It's just crazy to me that there's nothing even in progress. They're pulling a Browns. Well, Browns draft a quarterback every year.
Not anymore.
The Steelers just can't fucking draft a
Not
quarterback.
anymore. We just exercised our 5th-year option on Baker, baby. He's about to be a $200 million
I
man.
did see you guys were keeping Baker. I don't know. I honestly don't know what we do at this point. Like, that's why I haven't followed it, because
You have to suck.
what are we going
worse.
to do?
Honestly,
Yeah,
what's going to
we're
happen
gonna
is you
suck.
guys are going to suck this year.
Yep.
Because you're finally going to have a ton of competition. Even the Bengals are going to challenge you guys in this
Yeah.
division. Ravens will sweep you.
We'll be third.
We'll probably
be
sweep you.
third.
You might be able to
I
get
think you'll be
one.
third too. I still don't think the Bengals are ready.
Yeah,
No, but the Bengals could take one from them.
We're going to take
and you're
one
going to
from
get
you
beat
guys.
by the top. I don't think you will
We're
this year.
taking one.
I don't know if you will. If our defense ends up as good as it's supposed to be, we entirely revamped our defensive backfield. We still don't have any linebackers, but we barely use them as it is, and our pass rush should be insane.
I think we
You're
go
not
one
beating-
for one. Everybody except for Bengals, we take both.
Those days is over.
I think it's going to happen.
I think that this will be the first losing season that Mike Tomlin has under his belt. I think it'll be close to 500, but you're going to be, what will it be now? 8-9.
We said that though last season or the season before.
It's true. We said it last
somehow
season.
fucking
But
pulled
you
that
guys,
shit off.
you
man.
guys crashed
I know.
at the end of the
I
year
know.
last year.
Who saw them going? What was it? 8-0, 9-0,
Yeah.
whatever.
11-0,
11-0.
and then you went 6 straight losses,
Yeah.
Jesus.
including a routing in the playoffs. God damn.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I don't follow. I just don't know the players and stuff like you guys do. I don't follow. I just hope for the best. I turn on the game on Sunday and enjoy watching it, but that's about the extent of it.
I hope for my money they go quarterback.
I mean, it's what we need it to do.
Yeah.
That's where our focus should be. Do I think that's what they're going to do? No. But I mean, who are we going to pick up? I mean, you guys would know more than me. Who's out there available that we could actually try and trade for?
I don't know how much capital you have, in terms of like Jesse says you don't have anything. And I know you're cap trouble already. So to me, it's like if you don't have the money to trade it or at least the assets, I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
I just don't think we have any. I don't think there's any opportunity for us to get anybody worthwhile. We're going to pick up a chump, and then what? We're going to have to get another person in another couple seasons.
So here's my question: do you tank this year and then maybe go after one next year, get like the first or second or third pick?
I mean, you got Ben this season at the very least, so I guess run with it, and then next year we try and get somebody. I mean, we know we have him for this year, so at this point, it doesn't really make sense getting somebody. Unless it's really someone worth our while, there's no sense in trading or drafting someone just to get them. But we need someone in the next, 2-3 seasons.
Jesse's gonna hate this hot take, but to me, Tomlin would make a stud out of Justin Fields.
Yeah,
He would, but you ain't gonna get him because he's gonna be up high.
Yeah, we're gonna be fucked. Like we don't have the ability to draft any good quarterbacks. We just don't. We don't have the space. We don't have the finances, and then getting in, it's just not going to happen. So we're fucked. This season's, I say we might just barely make it a winning season, but it's not going to be anything pretty.
Yeah,
maybe I definitely say third in our division.
I think so too. I still don't. I'm not a buyer in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm not. I just don't.
You said you had 7 players that you would like for them to take. Who do you got?
So first of all, the positions that we need the most in Dallas, in my opinion, in these orders: linebacker, cornerback, defensive end, offensive line. Remember how great our offensive line was about 5 years ago?
It was the
best in the league.
Not even 5 years.
God,
3 years ago.
How the mighty have fallen. When Trevor Frederick retires, when Tyron Smith gets injury prone, when Zach Martin is uncertain over contract disputes, man, how the mighty have fallen. So that's why I say offensive line big time. Do you want me to name all 7?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not going to go into a lot of these. We've already talked.
Is this like round 1, round 2, round 3, or are these just people you want it?
I only went round 1.
Okay.
Because these guys aren't going to fall round 2.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Basically, the only thing I hope is just in those later rounds, defense. Like defense.
Yeah.
Like this shouldn't even be a question. At this point.
I agree.
Just go after defense. I don't care who it is. So my picks are Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Penei Sewell, offensive tackle. It's a little dream in me.
Yeah, it is.
Rashawn Slater, offensive line. Nick Bolton, linebacker. Love that kid.
Okay.
He's very underrated. Nobody's talking about him right now. I think this kid has explosive style. I think he's got great feet too. For a kid that big, not clumsy at all. And I love that. He's definitely he's up there for sure. Like as far as ranks go, he should be talked about more. Jalen Phillips, defensive end. Kwity Paye from Michigan, defensive end.
That's one of mine.
Love him too. And I think he could fall to us legitimately. I don't know if they take him at 10, but I think 10, and maybe if we wanted to trade up to somewhere around like that, 20 mark, I think we could get him.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Pitts was like the 7th and pick. If it comes to it, look, if we get Kyle Pitts, I know this was the talk on this show for the longest time. If we get Kyle Pitts, will I be angry? Absolutely not.
Oh, you shouldn't be.
It's just a sexy pick again. It's that pick that we're always known for. Like offense. We got the best offense in the league. Offense.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's not going to get us anywhere.
So I went ahead and just picked 3 of them.
Okay.
Most of these are pretty high considering that we picked 26th, but I don't believe after the free agency that we've had, I think we had one of the best free agency periods in the entire NFL.
I agree.
The best in the AFC North. Completely revitalized our defensive backfield, really fixed the edge on the other side. Hopefully, linebackers still kind of weak, but we don't use our linebackers that much. We run more of like a 4-2-5 than we do like a 3-4 or 4-3. So you're only ever really having like 2 guys out there, and you got all these safeties now that they're going to be plugging and playing in different areas. So I'm not actually going to pick one. A lot of people have us taking that Jeremiah Wuso, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I do not have him. Kwity Paye was one of mine.
Yeah.
I believe that we possibly trade up to 12. I believe it's with the Eagles.
I think you have to for Kwity. I think he'll fall. He'll be in the top 20. I don't think he goes past
some mocks have him going all the way down to us without even having to trade up.
Wow.
And I don't know why that's happening, because edge rushers are usually top tier picks.
Yeah. I think he's
But I
one of the
think
best
with
defensive end, top 2 for
elite
sure.
quarterbacks and elite wide receivers in this draft have people like going crazy.
Mhm.
Number 2, I have J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina.
Mhm.
Dude is, I think, the second best in the draft. I know that Bosif said that it was Caleb Farley, I think, but he's got some injury issues, and I don't want to deal with that because we already have injury issues
Right off the bat.
Well, we already have them with Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams. I don't want to add another injury-prone guy.
Yeah.
After that, I have. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my list because I didn't write it down because I'm not a good preparer. Micah Parsons, but we're not going to get him.
God, yeah.
Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, that's what it is.
Okay.
I wouldn't be opposed to having him. I do think that he's a good player. I don't think that we're going to take linebacker, but if we did take him, I'd be really happy with it.
I don't think I know anything about him.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame.
Okay, I do know a lot about it. I just can't piece it together for some reason.
He's just like a do-it-all kind of guy. He can cover, which is something that we've always had issues with our linebackers. Can just free roam the field because we're going to have that pass rush. So we're not going to have to worry about him coming off the edge. Not going to have to worry about him trying to come in up the middle. He's going to just be able to do his thing, roam around, make plays. And that's what we really need him to do in this defense. And then my last one, which Bo will love, is his boy, Elijah Moore. Wide receiver. I don't think that he will be a top pick. You could get him at 26, maybe even in the second round, probably in the second round.
Could you justify that pick, wide receiver for your first pick? Yeah.
Not for my first. No, I'd be upset. I'd want them to get him in the second, probably not the third, but second. Especially because I think they'll trade up using their third rounders. You're not going to be able to keep Odell forever. You're not going to be able to keep Jarvis forever. They're both really expensive. They're taking up like 20% of your total cap or something insane like that.
Sad to see that go, man.
Gotta go though. Sucks to suck. You've got Higgins, who has a great connection with Baker. You've got Donovan Peoples-Jones, who showed some flashes, even though he didn't have a lot of catches last year. Every single one of them was important. You got 2 tight ends that are great. Hooper is super clutch, and Njoku still has tons of upside. You get a guy like him, replaces whichever one goes, and then you're good to go.
I think the days of deep out in Cleveland are kind of over. I'm not saying that Mayfield can't throw. I'm just saying it seems like his bread and butter is within 20 yards.
Baker's thing is he sees everybody. He's going to hit 9 to 12 guys in a game every game. Like, it doesn't matter to him who he throws to. He's going to find the open man. He's going to get it done. And that's one thing that I love about his game. But he does have a beautiful deep ball. The dude has a cannon of an arm.
He can throw.
He's just got to get it going. So
as long as Odell isn't in the game.
He's made some deep, beautiful throws to Odell.
I just feel like we talked about last year. He feels way more under pressure.
Yeah.
If Odell is an option.
But I do agree with that. That was one thing he and I agreed on 100% is that I honestly think they should have dumped Odell already.
I will be shocked if Odell is not on this team next year.
Wow.
You'll be shocked if he's not.
I will be shocked if he is not on the team this upcoming season.
Wow.
They played so much better, man.
Yeah.
They played so much better without him.
But my only thing is because I thought that the same way at the time because it was very hard for me to justify not. But he's such a weapon. Is it just that they finally came together on offense and started figuring it out when he got hurt? Or was it really he had to go in order for them to do it? I don't know.
I think that's a weight. I think that's.
I don't know for sure.
He's a superstar. It's a superstar weight. You have to accommodate the superstar stats.
He also beat your Cowboys single-handedly.
No kidding. No.
I mean, why
not? Everybody else in the league did.
You can't let that type of talent walk, though.
Yeah.
Because of that potential to do that any given day.
He's a huge talent, but if he doesn't fit the mix, is it worth just keeping around because of the name or because of what he means? If he's not,
I think that the mix runs through Baker. If Baker sees what he did last year and he goes, you know what, we're going to build on that. He has a solid coach foundation finally, a solid front office. There's not a change in the offense. He knows what he's getting into next offseason. Now you get to go in and you really get to see. If they go out there and the offense isn't working and it's all because he gets 13 targets to Odell and he only caught 4 of them, then we start having this conversation. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Stupid question. His contract's more than Jarvis, right?
They're very similar. They're both about $13 million.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, if you cut Jarvis without even considering cutting Odell, like Odell's is worth more.
Sure.
And he's performed less.
Jarvis hasn't gotten like a 100-yard game though in so long.
But I think that's because Baker, like you said, that strategy of throwing in 9 different players. I don't think he's ever going to have that opportunity to.
And that's why I'm going to take the guy that has the potential to get that deep route every once in a while over the guy that I know can catch the ball. Because Odell can catch the ball. Jarvis is sure-handed and he's going to get open and everything, and he's feisty and he's a leader. But ultimately, I'm not giving you $13 million for that because I know you can't go over the top.
That's a lot.
He's never going to be that guy burning down the field 50 yards who trashed some corner and safety and broke past them for a 60-yard bomb. It's just not going to be him.
That's painful. I love Jarvis Landry.
I love him too, but that's the business side of football.
It's painful.
Sorry, buddy, but you got to go.
Dang.
He hasn't gone yet. Just
Yeah,
support him until he does.
Sorry, buddy, you got to go. Pack your bags. Get the fuck out of here.
Yikes.
You put some things down for sports. That's our draft talk. I wanted to throw one more thing out there. Mock draft champion or challenge. Ryan doesn't like supporting other podcasts. Our boy Bosif over the Casuals Fantasy Football Podcast is doing the mock out challenge where they're welcoming their listeners to do a mock draft for a competition. I'm not sure what the prize is. You have to listen to their show to figure it out. But he invited me to challenge their show. They did their mock draft today. I'm going to put up mine against theirs and see who is correct. Little gentleman's bet going on amongst our Dynasty League. And I think that I will destroy them, even though they have 4 heads put together.
What's the prize for winning or losing? Is there a wager?
It hasn't been established yet. The only thing that we're like connected by is the Dynasty League, and I'm not like it's not the type of league where we bet picks or anything like my.
How confident are you that you're going to win?
He said he'd
I'm
destroy
very confident.
them.
So whoever loses has to come on their podcast and say the other show was better.
Oh, I'm down for that. Is Bo watching live still?
I don't know, but how confident are you?
I'm 100% confident. I will be very much willing to go on their show and tell them that if they beat me.
Okay.
I am that sure. Especially after Bo said that there's no chance that they take Trey Lance in Carolina. Get the fuck out of here.
For the record, I am not playing this.
Here's the thing. Jesse is representing all 3 of us against him individually against the 4 of them. And if Bo agrees, then he has to come on our show and praise us, and you have to go on their show and praise them.
I am down.
I'm going to say this. Are we live still?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to Bo. If you do lose this, it's going to look worse on you because you have the podcast.
And he put the gauntlet down.
Right.
But you know what? There's a reason I'm the champ in that league.
It's the reason why we've got a Jesse Unk from Sports Illustrated and you don't.
That's right.
That's true.
That's why you guys are the casuals, and I'm the credentials.
Drop that mic.
That's right. If the mic could drop, it'd be down.
Goodness.
But yeah, so if you're interested in entering that competition, though, make sure you listen to the podcast, figure out how to enter, and
Bo says easiest bet he could ever make.
Let's fucking go, Bo.
I love it.
Good stuff. I had a couple things. Yeah. So big one. We don't have to talk about it much in depth, but the LeBron tweet, the tweet heard around the world. Your guys' thoughts on he's getting a lot of backlash. Now, here's my thing with it is, were people upset about what was said or about who said it? You know, because I feel like this is getting blown up more than like a lot of things within similar realm. And I'm like, is it because it's Bron that it's getting taken to the context and level that it has been taken? I'm all about it. We've talked about on the show, people within power in the spotlight using their platforms to stand up and voice how they feel. Now, just because you didn't agree with him, was he in the wrong, I guess? And I think it also comes down to it being misconstrued, because I think that the way people took it and twisted it, which happens with everything, is what he was saying and what they interpreted it as him saying. He said accountability. You're next. #accountability, meaning you're the next cop that's going to be held accountable for shooting a black person. You know, that's what he meant by it.
Yeah.
And people put it in the context that he like was heading.
You're next. We're gonna kill you.
Yeah, like he put a bounty out on this officer, and that it was irresponsible for him to say that. Which I get both sides. But my thing is it because it was LeBron, or was it really because of what was said?
So, in my opinion, I think your answer, there's a little bit of both. In my opinion, there's always that small group of people that have hated LeBron James just because he's been compared to Michael Jordan since the start.
They finally found a reason to make him fall.
And nobody wants to let go of Michael. Okay. We almost all of us love Michael Jordan. Okay.
You know what Michael would have said about this whole incident?
Oh boy.
He would have said police officers buy shoes too.
So true.
Okay. So a little bit, I think it's a little bit of both, because like I said, I think people hate LeBron James and they look at anything to pick him apart about, any little thing. I also think, though, obviously the overwhelming is if you say anything bad about police in this country, man, you are just looked at in shame, like from start to finish. Like anything that I've said, like I'm not even a celebrity, but I've posted stuff about that in the last month, and I've gotten my fair share of shit too. He's a celebrity with a scale of millions of people on his Twitter. Yeah, billions.
My problem with that, I agree with you, and my problem with that is that I don't understand, and it seems very specific when it comes to the Blue Lives Matter or the backing the blue or police, whatever, that it's an all or nothing.
Yeah.
That if you don't agree with what one cop does, that means you are against the police. And that doesn't, you need to be individually held accountable. And for you to come out and say that what that cop did was wrong doesn't mean that you're saying fuck the police or that you don't agree with the police or that you want to tear down the police or defund the police. And I don't understand why within that group, that's how it seems to be. You cannot be against an officer's actions without it meaning that you just hate the police.
And those same people who spread that division are the same ones who go, why are we so divided when it comes to a nation in 2021? Like, take a second and consider that.
So frustrating.
Yeah, I think it was more about who he was than necessarily what he said, because people don't like an influential person like that of that stature speaking out. Just a few years ago, Isaiah Crowell, running back of the Browns, posted a photo of a person slitting the throat of a police officer, and it was a cartoon that he drew with blood gushing out of him, and he almost deleted it immediately, but that made decent news.
Yeah.
But that's a different following too. LeBron is like the biggest star in the world.
And that's what I'm saying though, is he got some backlash, but he wasn't cut.
Yeah.
He wasn't released from the team. He wasn't, reprimanded. I don't think he even paid a fine. I think that he came out and made a public apology, and that was it.
Right.
And nobody really cared after that. LeBron, this will be one of the things that will go on forever for his legacy for the rest of the time, just like the Yankee hat, just like leaving Cleveland, just like the parade. That's always going to be something that somebody uses against him whenever they have their argument. Well, he's a police hating racist. Now he's racist. That's the big thing people are saying all over is LeBron James is racist. And if it wasn't LeBron and he didn't have all this hate tied to him already just because of success, he'd be out. And it's just like Tom Brady used to have that same amount of hate until he won 3 more rings. And then people were like, I think I might be wrong about him. If LeBron wins 4 more rings, nobody's going to give a shit.
Let me say this. I'm not even anywhere near on the scale you guys are as far as LeBron fan. Like, I like him. I think he's a hell of a player. Definitely one of the greatest of all time. But I've never seen an athlete more scrutinized for the smallest, dumbest, most inconsequential things in my life.
Yep.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is, to Jesse's point, is just the level of which he's viewed. I don't like, I mean, I enjoy watching LeBron. I think he's very entertaining to watch as a basketball player. I respect him. I think he does a lot of great, and it's cool that he's from Akron. Outside of that, I don't really care that much. But I mean, he's the biggest athlete in this country, in the world, at least at this point in time. So his voice is heard so widespread, and obviously that is what's such a big deal. So many people saw it and read it, but I just think it's tough. The issue I have with it is when we preach or we want people within the position to do so, to use their platform to speak out, and then he does, and you tear them down. Well, it's like, that's gonna shun people away from wanting to speak up or to voice their concerns or to use that platform to speak out against that stuff, because now they're gonna have fear that they're gonna get torn apart by it.
Well, I want them to speak up for what I want.
Right. And that's the thing, is like, LeBron's not going to care. He's going to keep saying his thing, but the next guy's going to go, fuck that. I'm not talking about this shit.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what it is. They're just going to be like, I'm not going to.
I think he handled it well. He didn't, he took it down. He said he took it down because it ended up turning into something that was perpetuating hate. And that's not what he didn't take it down because he said he was in the wrong. He did go on an interview or something and stated that you shouldn't let your emotions get the best of you, and you need to educate yourself, and that he will do better, and he'll make sure that he does that before he posts something, because maybe he realizes at this point that the officer wasn't in the wrong or whatever. But I think he deserves the respect. I think that he had the right as anybody else to be emotional at that time. A lot of people react right away, and then you realize what it is. But like, I think we're all guilty of posting things and initial reactions to stuff.
Mhm.
And then we might go back and delete a status. I've done it before.
What-
You know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that they need to be able to voice themselves just as much as anybody else. And it's your own problem if you feel like that you're putting him on a pedestal, that his word means more than anybody else, you know?
When you strip down the money, the fame, everything that he has going for him, everything that he's attained in his life,
Yep.
when you strip it all down, he's just a black man at the end of all this.
Yep.
And like any black man, they are pissed off at the system that has let them down to this point.
Yep.
So when it comes down to it, celebrity or not, that's not important.
Right.
That's irrelevant.
Right.
He's a black man at the end of the day, and he's pissed about seeing his people being murdered.
Yep.
That's easy to understand. Anybody could grasp that.
Right. No, I agree. That's been huge. That's been a big sports news, just media news thing, you know, since the shooting in Columbus, which is a little bit south of where we record.
Yep.
Big deal there. I don't know what they've fully determined at this point, but big deal. The other thing that I thought was huge that just came out was, at least for someone like me who loves shoes, is the Nike and Kobe contract has ended. And Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, has decided that they're not going to continue
Oh, really?
their contract with Nike.
I would not have expected.
That you know, the Kobe estate or the Bryant estate is no longer going to maintain a contract, that she doesn't like the way that they handled his merchandise and stuff in the past, and restricting quantities or like limiting who could have access to them.
Ooh.
And she feels that his shoe had the opportunity to be worn by so many more people, so many more athletes, but it was limited due to Nike availability and things.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I mean, his shoes are iconic. I don't know if that means if she goes to Adidas or she goes to New Balance or somebody else makes them. I hope something comes of it though, because I mean, the shoes that were made for him were really awesome. I don't know how that works when someone passes away though. Obviously, he no longer has an input in them, so I don't know what that looks like. But I thought that was it's interesting, and I mean, that's a huge stick.
Yeah.
I mean, Nike is the hugest shoe company in the world.
I kind of applaud her for that, because that's a brave decision. You know, it's not easy to walk away from Nike. I mean, for her, it's kind of like she has nothing else to lose, you know, pretty much.
Right.
So from where she's at, but I applaud her taking that stand if it is 100% legit toward that being her motivation. Like she's looking out more for the consumer, you know, which is a rare take anymore.
Yeah.
I applaud her for that.
I don't know. So I don't know if it's the consumers aspect or if it's just more so like the legacy of the brand. Like, I want to make this available to more people. I don't know the direction she's going with, but regardless, I mean, to be willing just to say like, we're not going to have a contract with you anymore is huge. And the amount of money that's got to mean is insane. So
2021, the rise of Reebok.
Bro, Reebok ain't coming back. Fuck outta here. Jesse will be pumped.
Puma, baby.
Puma.
He's a soccer boy.
Jeez. The only other thing for sports was Rob Gronkowski set the new world record for the farthest caught pass.
Really?
They dropped it from a helicopter from 600 feet.
Yeah.
And caught it.
Now that is incredibly hard to do, though.
Yeah.
You got to be able to track that ball and hope the wind doesn't blow it 50 yards away from you and stuff. But if it ended up going straight down, like in a vacuum, that's not fucking hard.
Yeah.
How many times did he attempt? Does it say?
I don't know.
I'm sure it doesn't matter as long as you catch it.
Yeah, I didn't read it. It was on TikTok, I think. He was at like this school he went to college at or whatever is where they did it at, and like all this
I don't even know
the
where he went
football
to school.
team or whatever was there, and the helicopter flew over and he caught the ball. I was
Hey,
like, woo!
Hey, Bo, where did he go to college?
Right. That's all we have for sports.
All we got for sports.
Let's knock out a really, really quick Let's Get Social before Jesse has to
Bo just texted me actually.
skedaddle.
About that.
He wanted me to tell you that you guys needed to get in on the
It is
mock draft
July
as well.
20th,
It's free.
1969. And
I trust
man
Jesse.
is
I'm not
about to
admitting
land
shit.
on the
I
moon.
trust Jesse.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes, he did.
That's the way the news goes.
Was that your data impression?
Yeah.
Let's Get Social. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. Quickly, COVID is extremely on the rise in India.
Wow.
What did you say? Like
356,901, I believe was the number.
in 24 hours.
In 24 hours. Yeah.
That is
Now, to be fair, they got
insane.
they have like 1 billion people.
They
there.
do.
Yeah.
Like, they're the second biggest population to China, but that is a shitload
But-
of people.
And considering we're more than 15 months into this thing,
Right.
I mean, this is for them, I think it's the third wave. I don't think they ever had.
Okay.
So like the third wave,
Oh, they're packed in there.
and we're
over there.
still getting like, God,
It's like world crisis level at this point where people are just dying off the chain. And I guess the U.S. is Biden signed something to send a bunch of supplies and stuff there to try and help them, because I mean, that's insane. I mean, almost 500,000 people in one day.
did you see the pictures?
Insane. No,
People laying in the street dead.
that's awful.
Yeah.
And it's just going to spread like crazy.
Yep.
At that point.
Because they're all, like Jesse said, they're all packed in. I mean,
Dude, that's awful.
I have been experiencing COVID-related effects months later now. In the past month, I've had to use an inhaler multiple times.
Oh, man.
3 times in the last 2 days. I took my Christmas tree downstairs finally after all these fucking months. Just taking that downstairs, had to use an inhaler. Took an inhaler before I came over for this because I was coughing. I didn't want to be coughing on the show the entire time.
Yeah.
And been just experiencing like that type of lung pain, cough so bad that my throat was sore afterwards just a few weeks ago or days ago. So get your vaccines, be safe. Don't think that this is all just done and over with, because it is not. Don't be stupid.
Right.
and if I could say something, it doesn't pertain to India, but it pertains to the United States. As of going into today, 42.8% have gotten one shot, and 29% even have gotten both shots. For
That's
the
a pretty
United
big
States.
jump.
Yeah.
We were at like 6% not very long ago.
It's going up about 1.5 points like every day, it seems.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going.
It's available for all adults 16 and older right now.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse. Go get it done.
I have a friend of a friend, acquaintance, I won't say his name, but he is literally like patient 0 in a like crazy life-threatening, like on his deathbed side effect from, he had COVID and then he got the vaccine, and he has been like in the hospital fighting for his life to the point where he's actually like Pfizer's in contact with him to use, like they're going to like study him.
Wow.
To like figure out like what happened and like try and I don't know, do studies and stuff to like prevent it from happening or whatever.
I wonder if he's got a pre-existing condition.
I don't know. He's here, right? He lives here in Canton. But I was reading his story the other day and I'm just like, this is wild, man. Like he is just in like awful shape. But yeah, it's still going around. Like COVID is very much still happening. So we still got to make sure we're being cautious of what we're doing and everything.
And Johnson & Johnson starts back with their vaccine again. I think it's Sunday or Saturday, one or the other.
Yeah, I did see that they said that it was safe for them to start administering again, and hopefully they're not.
And don't
giving out
believe the hype
saline.
on that either, because they administered like millions of shots and 6 people got blood clots. If you're worried about that, then you better be fucking terrified of COVID, because for all this time you've been telling me that 2% isn't that bad, and I guarantee you that's like fucking 10,000ths% or some shit of people.
Well, that's all people ever focus on is the bad. So like to Ryan's credit from last week when he had the debate about the whole media and how they present things, that's the thing. When you're focusing on the 5 or 6 bad people instead of the hundreds of thousands who have gotten it, who have been fine, that's kind of irresponsible.
If you're
100%.
worried about possibly getting a blood clot from the vaccine, then you better not be getting Big Macs and shit at McDonald's either. You know, I mean, there's risk with anything that we do.
And if you're afraid of blood clots, just know that COVID can give you those too in your lungs, and you'll fucking suffocate in your own blood and die. It almost happened to a friend of mine, and you don't want it to happen to you.
I was so upbeat.
It's a real thing, guys. It is a very real thing.
Brought to you by the CDC, official sponsor of Made to Motivate podcast.
I fucking wish.
Yeah, please. Show me the money. The only other thing was the Supreme Court is going to be seeing a case regarding gun control and concealed carry. So I don't know where this is stemming from or what they're planning on doing with it, but I don't remember the last time a gun law case was in the Supreme Court. If it's been anytime soon. I know Biden has been working towards trying to implement some changes in gun law stuff, which I think he was working towards a pretty positive outcome.
So this is for gun control and for the CCW.
This was a shoot, it was opened a case on Monday. The NRA is a part of it, and they're looking to expand where you can carry a weapon publicly. So I don't know if they're trying to, like, if you're licensed and there's places that will say, well, you can't hear, they have their no gun sign. Like if you're licensed, like you can carry if you have a license, or if it's going to be something where it's like you don't need a license to carry, like open carry, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that on our gun law show. I think
that that's bullshit. If they're gonna, I don't know if that's the case or not, but if that is the case where they're gonna say you can go into places that have the no gun sign on it, that is bullshit. Because if I have a business and I say no guns in there, you're not gonna fucking tell me what I'm gonna allow in my own goddamn business. That's bullshit.
Well, remember, it was the cake debate that we had. Remember how, like, they can make a cake and the customer can choose whether or not to go to that.
Which I think, yeah. And they ruled in favor of that couple, which I thought was bullshit also. You can't tell me what to do in my home and what to do in my business. This is what I own. And I'm all for rights. I'm a gun owner. But when I see that sign, I turn my ass around, I go back and I put it in my car.
So apparently it was brought to the Supreme Court by the New York Rifle and Pistol Association, which is an affiliate of the NRA. And they're saying that one of the biggest resolved issues with the Second Amendment is the right to carry a firearm outside of your home. And then that's what they're fighting for. That's what this case is supposed to figure out, is that you have the right to bear arms and you can have a gun in your home. But once you leave your home, they believe your rights are restricted. And I think they should be to an extent. I
like
think
a business. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not your territory anymore.
Right. And I think being licensed and trained is very important. I'm not a huge fan of open carry. I think that's just, I don't know. The rules are so odd to me in between open carry and concealed carry and what you can and cannot do. And go back and listen to our second or third episode and you'll be able to hear that. Jesse talks about it very in depth and what the rules and things are. So
I'm the gun guy.
God, that feels like a lifetime ago now.
A long time ago.
Second you said that,
almost 2 years, a little less than a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on any? I don't know. Have we made any progress in gun law change since?
Well, from my understanding of what I've heard, and I haven't gotten super in depth, so take this with a grain of salt because it might not be 100% accurate. From what I've heard, though, is that the CCW thing is that you would not anymore need to have a license in order to carry concealed. It would just be a right, just like an open carry state is, where you can just have it out. Only it can be hidden at any given time. I hear the mentality of like, you're not going to fuck with somebody because you don't know if they'll be carrying. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Perfect timing with that right to fight back law that they just came out with too. That's just great.
So I had my gun at the Cavs championship parade on my hip. And guess what? A guy fucked with me. And I felt pretty confident because I was like, nah, this guy's bigger than me, but if he fucking goes for it, I could kill him. So I'm not really worried about it. It was all over me standing in his place, he said. And I said, and they didn't sell me any fucking tickets, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to move for you.
Tickets.
Nothing happened from it. The guy was an asshole. They stood behind us and yelled in our ears intentionally and did stupid shit, but it was not, I'm not an ignorant person, so I didn't shoot him. But
somebody else might have, though.
I didn't feel like anybody was messing with me any less, though, because I had a possibility of having a gun. So I don't like the idea of that. I think that CCWs are very important because if I know you have one, I trust that you are a capable gun owner because you've at least got the knowledge of what it is. Maybe you're ignorant and you don't give a shit about it and you said, fuck it, I just have to do this stupid course, and you forgot everything you learned. But there's a lot of really useful information in those courses in terms of knowing your own laws for your own safety and then knowing how to operate your gun for safety of yourself and others. I think everybody should have to take one of those courses to even purchase a weapon, which a lot of people have a problem with.
That's what I want to leave the show with, actually. So go around the room really quick. We'll answer this and we're going to call it quits.
Cool.
And I will post it on Facebook as well. So if you listen to this episode, go to our Facebook page and fill us in on your thoughts. Do you think it is an infringement on your Second Amendment right to have restrictions and to be able to own a firearm? Do you think that creates a restriction for you? Do you think that infringes on the right to bear arms by saying you have to take a class, have a license, now you have the ability? Or do you think that you shouldn't be able to do that?
No, I think that the law says that you have the right to bear arms and to be a well-regulated militia. It does not say that you have the right to have any gun that you want at any given time. You have the right to get it. You have the access to it. And I guarantee the people that are arguing that are not the people that are saying that felons should have guns either. So you can't draw a line in one place and not another. I think that everybody should be a responsible gun owner.
I've always
Chris?
said your line of jurisdiction ends at the business where it begins. So whether they feel, if they're not hanging anything up that says that, you know, that you have to keep your gun in the car or anything, rock on, go on in there.
But do you think that if you just bring it down to the basic context, that Second Amendment is you have the right to bear arms.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we as a government have the right to say, yes, you have that right, but you need to have taken a class, gotten a license, had been trained to properly do that? Or do you think the government telling you that is then infringing on your right to own up?
No, because I think honestly everybody should be licensed anyway. That's always been kind of my status on it. It's, you know, whatever you want to, they're always going to say it's infringing on something, right? COVID infringes on their rights,
right?
But no, I think everybody should be licensed because, like Jesse said, you go through the training, you go through the appreciation of having a gun once you've gone that far into the classes, you know, everything that it requires. It's also a legality kind of thing because, you know, if somebody say shoots up a school or whatever, you know, God forbid, then, you know, they can track it back to where that began. We can start looking at the signs as far as, you know, what kind of person he was when he came in, was there any signs with his paperwork, you know, anything. So I think it's a pivotal key, and no, I don't think it infringes on anything.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I 100% am all for the right to own firearms and to carry firearms. I just think it should be done in a safe manner. I don't think that it infringes on the ability to own one by saying that you need to take training courses to carry something that can kill someone and to be licensed in doing so. I know a lot of people take that to the point of, well, there's no reason the government needs to know I have guns or what guns I have. And whether I don't know if I necessarily agree that there should be a registration for every firearm you have. I don't know if I really care one way or another. I think that's just where people get to the point where they're like, that's too much government hands-on in what you do. But taking that aside and just saying to be responsible for having that right to carry a firearm, yes, I think you should take training courses. I think you should understand how a firearm works and know gun safety and how to lock them up and have a license. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Give us your thoughts, comment on the Facebook. I'll make a post. Anything else you guys want to leave the show with?
Big boobs.
Like that.
Big boobs. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. That is Made to Motivate podcast. Make sure you tune into the show every week. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so you know when the new videos launch. And check out our pages individually if you can. We appreciate the support. At Jesse Unk SI on Twitter. Chris the Film Freak Kessinger. Check out the Film Freak Review page on Facebook. And I am Ryan Weiss. You can check out rockeverywhereinc.etsy.com to follow my art and apparel page. We appreciate the support. And of course, at Made to Motivate podcast on all social media sites. Thanks again, and we'll check you next week.